From along the banks of the Clinton River in downtown Utica, Michigan, and at Jimmy John's Field, we welcome you to the United Shore Professional Baseball League postseason. Today, the semifinal round of the USPBL playoffs. It is the Westside Woolly Mammoths, the 4 seed, pulling off a mild upset yesterday over Utica. They are the 4 seed. They beat the 3 seed Utica, and they advance today to take on the 2 seeded Eastside Diamond Hoppers, with a game time scheduled for about 5 to 10 minutes from now. Greetings, everyone. Alongside Brian Fisher, I'm Brad Golder. We've got a gorgeous, sunny Sunday evening for baseball here, and the winner today advances to the championship round to take on the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. And Brian, it's been a terrific second season of baseball here in the USPBL, and we are almost done with it, but we have 2 more exciting and dramatic games still to be played.
Oh, without a doubt. Yesterday we had the, like you said, the upset of the Utica Unicorns, and you can really think that to Jeremy Holcomb on the mound. He went 8 innings pitched and only gave up, I believe, 5 hits, blanked the Utica Unicorns, and the defense behind him turned 4 double plays, really stopping any offense of the Utica Unicorns. So I'm curious to see if the momentum here will keep on going for the Mammoths as they try to take on a formidable Eastside Diamond Hoppers. The
way the playoffs are structured in the USPBL, it's not like, say, Major League Baseball where you play multiple game series, but there is a penalty for finishing lower in the standings during the regular season. The 3 seed and the 4 seed, the bottom 2 teams in the standings, played yesterday. In order for those teams to win a championship, they would have to win all 3 games over the weekend, and that's what Westside is trying to do. After they eliminated Utica, they will play Eastside today. They get the 1-game bye, and then Birmingham Bloomfield, the 1 seed, finished in first during the regular season, and they get the double bye right into the championship game. You commented on yesterday's ball game, Westside and Utica, and what a pitching duel we saw. Donnie Murray was terrific. Jeremy Holcomb was terrific, but it was a unique pitching duel in that Donnie Murray was better overall. He didn't walk anybody in his start, struck out 10 over 8 innings, and was, I would say, overall more dominant in the start. But Jeremy Holcomb was more effective when he had runners in scoring position. I mean, walked 6, and you don't see a lot of times where you can win a ball game walking 6 in 8 innings. He gave up 6 hits as well, but he just constantly pitched out of jams. You alluded to the 4 double plays turned behind him, and you know what? He may not have been better than Donnie Murray for the totality of the ball game, but he was good when he needed to be with those runners in scoring position, and pitched a great ball game to get Westside to this point.
Yeah, there were several times during that day, during that game, where I firmly believe that the Utica Unicorns were about to take the lead. There was an opportunity where Willie Martin, who has been phenomenal all season long, the Utica Unicorns, had the bases loaded with 1 out, and he hit into that double play, and I believe that was the 3rd one at that time. The defense behind Jeremy Holcomb just really came through when they needed him to, turning those double plays. And like you said, Jeremy Holcomb obviously pitching into those double plays, did a fantastic job, and he was just there when his team needed him to be.
Jeremy Holcomb finished with 130 pitches thrown in 8 innings. He worked the 9th, the first batter of the 9th, but then he gave up a single and was taken out. And Andrew Cohen got the job done out of the bullpen for Westside. You talked about those double plays. First inning, Holcomb walked the first batter on 4 pitches, gave up a single, then a double play hit into by Martin. They Utica had first 2 on in the 3rd, nobody out, double play ball. Utica had 1 out and 2 on in the 5th inning, double play ball. And then the leadoff walk in the 6th inning, double play ball, and just all kinds of rally killers for the Utica Unicorns yesterday. Today, pitching matchup is as follows. Tanner Keast gets the start. He was the ace for Eastside during the season. He gets the start today for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. It's a guy that can throw incredibly hard. Hardest thrown pitch of the year recorded at 99 miles per hour. And with that hard fastball, he gets a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah, for sure. Every single game, I remember earlier in the season, he had 12 strikeouts in one of his starts. Across the season, he's got a 3.42 ERA in his 10 games played with 42 innings pitched, 31 hits, 35 walks, 78 strikeouts, and a whip of 157. Now, one thing you want to keep an eye on is he is dominant on the mound with that fastball. Like we were mentioning, He's got the record at 99, but he also has a tendency to walk some guys as well. He has a reliance on that fastball that sometimes can come back to bite him. So keep an eye on that, where his command might hurt him. But if that fastball is what he needs today, we're going to see a similar matchup that we did yesterday.
About as good a strikeout to innings pitch ratio as you will see. 78 strikeouts over 42 innings, but close to a walk per inning as well. 35 walks to 42 innings of work for Tanner Keast. On the mound for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, Travis McQueen. You can basically say he's their number 2 starter. Doesn't start the opener with Holcomb going in Game 1 of the postseason, but McQueen gets the start today. And a guy who has gone 2-3 on the year with a 3.81 earned run average. And Westside's going to need a good outing out of Steve McQueen today. Travis McQueen today.
Yes, Steve McQueen, yeah. I firmly believe that Shane McCaddy has lots of confidence in Travis McQueen. He began the season in the bullpen, but he was doing such a phenomenal job that they allowed him to get the start about halfway through the season, and he's run away with it. Like you said, he's got an ERA of 3.81. He's got 7, and it's going to be his 8th start now during the season with 56 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 60 hits, 16 walks, and 42 strikeouts. He's got a whip of 135. He's been dominant. His last time out, he went 8 innings pitched and gave up 1 earned run, and that was against the Beavers, who were the league champions.
It is the postseason, the semifinals of the USPBL, and before we get underway, let's pause for God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night from the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, why without God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and remove your hats. Veterans and active military may keep your caps on while rendering the hand salute as we honor America and our military with the singing of our national anthem, performed this evening by the Fraser High School Marching Band.
National anthem from the Fraser High School Marching Band, all 250 plus of them on the field here today, and a nice crowd gathering here for the semifinal round of the USPBL playoffs. The Westside Woolly Mammoths finished the regular season 22-30, and they take on the number 2 seed Eastside Diamond Hoppers, who finished 28-24. Westside winning yesterday 3-0 over Utica. They're going to try to win here again today. And here is the lineup that manager Shane McCaddy is going to send out there against the Diamond Hoppers.
Yeah, it's going to be batting first is the second baseman, number 11, Jalen Lawson. Following him is the third baseman, number 9, Kent Blackstone. Batting third and is going to be your center fielder, number 18, Tommy Fiesel. Batting fourth in the cleanup spot is your right fielder, number 21, Alex Abbott. Batting batting fifth and playing left field is number 22, Ethan Whisker. Batting sixth is your DH, number 10, Joe Davis. Batting seventh is your shortstop, Ben, number 2, the guy who came through with a clutch hit yesterday that propelled the Mammoths to the win, Jeff Smith. Batting eighth is the catcher and number 4, Nick Kraus. And playing first base and wearing number 3, batting in that 9 hole, is Riley Palmer. Defensively for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, playing at catcher is Brendan Oliver. Your pitcher is Tanner Keast. Esteban Gomez is playing first base. Second base is Cam Stewart. Shortstop, Ricky Castro. Third base, Trevor Achenbach. Playing left field is John Kraft. Center field is Ian Mikowski. And guarding right field is John Menken,
who was just named the most valuable player in the USPBL moments ago in a ceremony. They named the Gold Glove Award winner, Best Defensive Player, DJ Martinez. Most Improved, Tommy Fiesel, with honorary mentions from John Kraft and Devin Alexander. Most home runs, tied 9 home runs, Taylor Jellikowski, Brandon Raw, John Menken, although I have to believe Jellikowski probably would have won that had he had a full season in the league. Batting champion was Tommy Rulis of Birmingham Bloomfield. Pitcher of the year, we saw a dominant performance from him last night, Jeremy Holcomb, although runners-up Randy Wynn and Donnie Murray. And then John Menken, the MVP. Rob Poller, Cam Stewart, and Brett Balkin were the runners-up in that category. The throw has gone down to second base. We're waiting for the entirety of the Fraser High School Marching Band to make its way off the playing field.
There's over 250 of them, so it might take a second.
And they are doing a true drum line all the way around. The exit is left center field, and they are making an abrupt right turn and going around the length of the outfield wall. You can kind of see some of their white feathered caps peeking out above the wall in left center field, and then see through the clear fence in right field all of the Fraser High Marching Band members going across the field. When they came out originally, it reminded me of one of my favorite lines of all time in college football. The band is on the field. From the legendary Stanford Cal debacle in the early 1980s.
That's something that was a tad before my time, Brad, but I do know it. YouTube videos exist. I have seen it.
Well, Jalen Lawson will lead things off here. Tanner Keast is set to go, takes a breath, rocks back in the first pitch of the semifinal game. Swung and fouled off the netting behind the plate. 0-1, and we are underway in the semifinal round at Jimmy John's Field. Time at first pitch, 7:13 Eastern Time.
Now, Jalen Lawson behind the plate, maybe a leadoff hitter, but he does have some pop in his bat as well. He hit a home run back on Thursday as well.
Outside for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Keast takes the deep breath, rocks back the 1-1 delivery. Swung, popped up, right side, foul ground. A lot of room over there for Gomez, but can't get there. It's into the dugout, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, foul balls are a lot. You can expect a lot out of Jalen Lawson. He always puts up a good fight at the plate and doesn't go down without a fight often.
62 degrees at game time. Sunny skies here in Utica, but it will drop. The temperature will as the game goes on. The skies won't drop. Those will stay the same height. The 1-2. Outside, just missed the corner with a fastball, 2-2. We're early on seeing the strike zone here. That was probably a strike yesterday. Seemed like a little bit of a bigger strike zone last night, but that one just off the plate.
Well, different home plate umpire, different strike zone. It's all subjective to each umpire.
That one, same spot. Ball 3, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Again, 2 pitches that I think last night were probably strikes. Gary Wagenschutz seemed to have a little bit of a bigger strike zone.
Yeah, tonight we got Sal Giacontonio behind the plate, and he's a lot more strict with his pitch locations. He needs to be in the strike zone for it to be a strike. He's not so generous.
That one fouled off the netting behind the plate. Count is 3-2. Just underway from Jimmy John's Field in the USPBL quarterfinals. Keast rocks and delivers, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. And Jalen Lawson goes down on strikes. He does not have a two-strike protect and poke kind of swing. And when he's got 2 strikes, he still takes that big hack, but comes up empty.
No, and we saw that a bit last night as well. I believe he struck out once, maybe twice last night, 2 times, and it's something that he tends to do as well. But Tanner Keast on the mound, he's going to get lots of strikeouts, so we can expect a lot more out of him tonight.
I think that's our first off-speed pitch of the game from Keast. Misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes to Kent Blackstone, who during the regular season hit .226, 3 homers, 34 driven in, and there's a fastball strike at the knees, 1-1.
Yeah, at one point during the season, Kent Blackstone, I believe, was on a 7-game RBI streak. He was just absolutely on fire. Every time there's a runner in scoring position, you can expect him to hit one.
Line drive, left field line, long run for Kraft. Can't get there. It drops foul and bounces over the fence. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Blackstone yesterday 0 for 4. Westside managed to win the ball game with the top 3 hitters in the lineup going a combined 1 for 12. But Alex Abbott, 3 hits, including a solo homer, as that off-speed pitch is away. And they got a big hit with 2 outs from Jeff Smith, a 2-run single that plated the first 2 runs of the game.
Yeah, and that's just great to see because Jeff Smith, he struggled during the early half of the season.
2-2's chop foul.
Where he was striking out a lot, and he finally got his average to start climbing back up there. At one point, it was below 200. I believe it's at about 225 now. So to see him come through with that clutch hit yesterday, that ended up being the game-deciding hit, it's got to do wonders for the morale of him and for his Westside Woolly Mammoths team.
Here comes the 2-2. Ground ball softly to second base. Cam Stewart, an MVP candidate this year. Fields and throws to first. 2 up, 2 down for Keast. I'll bring up Tommy Fiesel. 282 during the regular season. 1 homer, 5 RBIs for the right-handed hitting center fielder. Keast wastes little time and delivers a fastball down the middle but low.
Yeah, Tommy Fiesel is your most improved player this year. He started off as a developmental player this year, Brad, and he came in about a few months ago now, and he's really done a great job for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, and he's earned his spot as an everyday player.
He checked his swing, did not offer, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Of course, with Keast, what we'll be watching today is the control. 35 walks in 42 innings coming in, but also a ton of strikeouts, 78 during the regular season, as this 2-0 is chopped foul.
Yeah, his last time out, Keast actually faced the Westside Woolly Mammoths a week ago today. It was last Saturday. He had a quality outing, 6 innings pitched with 3 earned runs, gave up 7 hits and struck out 12, but also gave up 4 walks. So the strikeouts and walks tend to always linger up high.
2-1 is fouled back behind the plate by Fiesel. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He ended up getting the loss in that game as well. It's just how it goes sometimes. You can pitch a good game, but still get the loss.
Now the kick, the 2-2. Fouled it off again. And it stays at 2-2 to Tommy Fiesel. Eastside finished the regular season last in offense. As this pitch home is high, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, each team seemed to have that one guy offensively who they could always rely on. With the Mammoths, it tended to change throughout the season. At one point, it was Kent Blackstone getting all those RBIs in when he was hot.
Line to right and a base hit. First hit of the game for the Westside Woolly Mammoths as Fiesel with a line shot to right.
And as I was saying, Alex Abbott, who is going to come stand in now for a while, was that guy. He hit a home run last night, like you were mentioning. And they never really had that one guy they could always rely on, while the other teams did. Alex Abbott so far at the end of the regular season was batting .277 with 8 home runs. Hit one last night in that playoff game, had 28 RBIs and walked 28 times as well. So he's been reliable behind the plate.
First pitch misses. Ball 1 to Alex Abbott, who had the big stick last night for the Woolly Mammoths. 3 hits, including a solo home run, 2 RBIs, and a double. Keast stretches. The 1-0 pitch is fouled back behind the plate by Abbott. The count's now 1-1.
Yeah, that pitch from Keast at 96 miles an hour. You can expect to see that all night long. He really can reach back and throw with the best of them in terms of velocity. I believe that he threw triple digits in a practice bullpen session one time, but of course that doesn't count as the record because it wasn't during a live game. But he can hit triple digits when he needs to.
Here's the 1-1 delivery. Ripped down the right field line. That's a fair ball into the corner. Let's watch Fiesel run. He rounds third. He's heading to the plate, and he will score without a throw as it comes in towards the center of the diamond. Alex Abbott comes through with the first run of the ball game, a double down the right field line. And the Westside Woolly Mammoths strike first in the top of the first.
And Alex Abbott just seems to love playoff baseball because that's 2 games now where he's come through in the clutch. He had that home run last night. I believe you said he had 4 hits last night?
3
hits last night. And here's another one here, a line drive double that scored Tommy Fiesel, giving his team a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first.
And that'll bring up Ethan Whisker. And the first pitch to him misses away. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 quick outs by Tanner Keast, but a single by Fiesel. And then he scores from first on the double down the right field line by Alex Abbott. Abbott leads at second. The 1-0 pitch. He's late on it. Fouls it to the right. 1-1.
This is a crucial at-bat here for Tanner Keast. He's already allowed 1 run. He's got another runner in scoring position behind him. So it's going to be crucial for him to get out of the inning here and just limit the damage. And hopefully the Hoppers can come out in the bottom half of the inning and respond.
This one fouled off. Got it off the thin part of the bat. Fouls it to the right. 1-2.
Looks like it's going to be a chilly weekend overall, Brad. Last night I was freezing down there on camera, and today I'm in here, but I'm going to have to make sure I bring some gloves for tomorrow's game.
Day game, it should be maybe a little bit better. Here comes the 1-2 pitch home. Ground ball right side, through into right field for a base hit. Abbott around third. He's heading to the plate. Menken's throw on the way. It's a good one, and it's in time for the putout at the plate. John Menken, the throw on a line to home plate. And Alex Abbott tagged out trying to score the game's second run. The Woolly Mammoths get a run. They do it on 3 hits, 1 runner left on base. We're through a half an inning of play at Jimmy John's Field. Westside Woolly Mammoths 1, and the Eastside Diamond Hoppers coming up.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Jimmy John's Field. Time for starting lineups for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers as they look to take their first swings today. Batting first and playing shortstop is number 7, Ricky Castro. He's a fan favorite here. Batting second and playing center field, number 10, Ian Mikowski. Batting third and playing right field, number 12, your USPBL 2017 MVP, John Menken. Playing first base and wearing number 21, batting fourth in the cleanup spot is Esteban Gomez. Batting fifth and playing second base, number 2, Cam Stewart, another one of your finalists for MVP this year. Batting sixth and playing DH, number 8, Mark Kruger. Batting seventh and playing third is number 1, Trevor Achenbach. Batting eighth and playing left field is number 24, a candidate for most improved player, John Kraft. And batting in the 9 hole is your catcher, number 25, Brandon Oliver. Defensively for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, your catcher is Nick Krause. At first base, you got Riley Palmer. At second, Jalen Lawson. Defending shortstop is Jeff Smith. Down there at third base is Ken Blackstone. On the mound is Travis McQueen. And in left field, you got Ethan Whisker. And in center, you got Tommy Fiesel. And in right, you have Alex Abbott.
So that is the starting lineup for, or the defensive alignment rather, for Westside behind Travis McQueen. Split time this year between the starting rotation and the bullpen. 2 wins, 3 losses, 1 save for McQueen, who delivers his first pitch of the ball game down the middle at the knees to the leadoff man, Ricky Castro. No balls and a strike.
Now, Ricky Castro might not have a whole lot of power behind the plate there, but he has been one of the most reliable players.
Rips that one into right center field. That is down for a base hit. Fiesel cuts it off, and Ricky Castro begins the ball game with a single into right center.
Like I was saying, he's a reliable player. At one point, he had a 19-game hitting streak, which is the record here in Jimmy John's Field in the USPBL. So there he goes. He's showcasing why he's so consistent.
So Castro on, nobody out. Ian Mikowski steps to the plate. Mikowski hit .243 during the regular season. No homers, 8 RBIs, but got on base at a .406 clip. A lot of walks for Mikowski during the season. Castro leads. It's bunted. First base side, off the mound, McQueen flips to the first baseman, Palmer, in time for the out. Sacrifice bunt moves Castro into scoring position with 1 out.
Yeah, I got to agree with that call there, Brad. Ian Mikowski is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, players here at Jimmy John's Field and USPBL. So laying down a bunt was a smart move there.
And you got Mencken at the plate. They have first base open, but you'd imagine they're going to have to pitch to him because a good hitter is on deck, and a left-handed hitter, Esteban Gomez.
Yeah, the middle of the lineup here in the Hoppers in general is just super dangerous. You got Mencken, Gomez, and Stewart. Mencken, Gomez, like we were saying, were finalists for MVP. Mencken winning the MVP for this season, and just dangerous hitters. It's going to be interesting to see if Travis McQueen can get through it.
First pitch misses inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Making .316 during the regular season. 9 homers, 37 driven in. Takes that one outside with a breaking ball. You look at the numbers. Ended up leading the league in runs scored, on base percentage, and slugging percentage, and tied for the league lead in home runs. He was second in average, tied for second in RBIs, 4th in hits, and tied for 4th in doubles. Just a complete season for him.
And not just at the plate either, defensively too. He was phenomenal. In the All-Star game, he robbed Nick Wilson, who was last year's home run champion at 17, out in center field of a home run, and ended up coming in second in the home run derby as well. He was just a complete player any way you slice it.
Here comes the 2-0 offering. He swings and fouls it to the left side towards his dugout. One nothing, Westside with the lead. And Eastside batting here in the bottom half of the first.
Like I mentioned before the game, Travis McQueen's last time out against the regular season champions Beavers went 8 innings and only gave up 1 earned run.
Ground ball. That one hit his foot in the batter's box, foul. And it goes to 2-2.
I feel like, Brett, that just shows how well he's really adjusted to the starting role when he's able to keep the regular season champions to just 1 earned run in 8 innings of baseball.
Home plate umpire dust off an already clean home plate to give Mencken a little bit more time to shake off that foul ball off of his foot. Castro, the runner at second base. There's 1 out. Travis McQueen looks in. Sets the belt and the 2-2. He offered at it. It was off the plate with a slider, but Mencken offered at it and strikes out for the second out of the inning.
And that's going to be big for Travis McQueen on the mound to be able to get the league MVP out. Striking him out at that, it's got to just right off the bat really get your morale going and get some momentum building for you.
So now 2 outs. Left-handed hitting first baseman Esteban Gomez steps in. .302 average during the regular season, 4 homers and 37 driven in. And he takes a look at strike 1. This was an Eastside team that was the top offensive unit in the league by pretty much any measure. Batting average led the league in on-base percentage, led the league in slugging percentage. 0-1, Gomez comes up empty and finds himself in an 0-2 hole.
They also had one of the most consistent teams here, too. They didn't change a whole lot of names on the back of the jerseys. Well, there's no names on the back of these jerseys, but metaphorically speaking, throughout the season, teams like the Unicorns tended to get new players pretty often, but the Hoppers, they had the same core throughout the whole season. I think that's part of what made them so dangerous.
High and tight with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Westside 1, Eastside batting in the bottom half of the first inning. Castro with a leadoff single, sacrificed to second, still out there with 2 outs. And Gomez takes one in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, it was that RBI double from Alex Abbott back in the top half of the inning that gave us this lead right now. He ended up scoring Tommy Fiesel.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Gomez. There's the pitch by McQueen. Swing and a foul tip into the mitt for a strikeout. And Eastside comes up empty. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on base. Through an inning at Jimmy John's Field, Westside 1, Eastside nothing.
Gentlemen, if you could please direct your attention towards home plate. We are proud to introduce Jeff and Chelsea. And Jeff and Chelsea have been blessed and are expecting an addition to their family. And with the help of Diamond Hoppers Casey Chenoweth, we are about to find out whether their bundle of joy is going to be a boy or a girl. Leading off for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, the designated
Woolly Mammoths 1, Diamond Hoppers nothing in the top half of the second inning in the semifinal round of the USPBL playoffs.
It's going to be Joe Davis here, the DH, set to lead things off for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Batting just $1.62 so far this season. He's got no home runs, 7 RBIs, 12 hits, and 4 walks. So let's see if he can do something here against Tanner Keast.
First pitch is low, 1 ball and no strikes. Davis, Smith, and Kraus here in the second. Against the right-hander Keast, who rocks and delivers. That's a strike at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, the Mammoths wasted no time in the top half of the first inning, getting out to an early lead. Like I said, it was thanks to that RBI double from Alex Abbott down the right field line that scored Fiesel.
This one's fouled off the net by Joe Davis. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Davis hitless yesterday in 4 at-bats. Chokes up with 2 strikes. The 1-2 from Keast. Breaking ball, bloop, shallow right field. Stewart back, leaps, sent it over his head, drops in for a 2-strike hit for Joe Davis.
Take him any way you can get him, right?
number 2, Jeff Smith.
Absolutely. I'll bring up Jeff Smith, who had a big hit yesterday for Westside. Broke a scoreless tie with a 2-run single against a dominant Donnie Murray. That came in the 7th inning with 2 outs.
Yeah, it was just a bleeder through the 5.5 hole down there between short and third base, but it found its gap and it was allowed 2 runs to score. Ended up being, well, the deciding run.
You know, and in that inning, Westside didn't really hit the ball hard. The 2 hits they had, Fiesel and Abbott before that, were both soft singles as well, but they got the job done. Another throw over, and again, Davis is back standing.
At the end of the day, it looks the same on the score sheet, right? Doesn't matter where you hit him to, as long as it brings in runs.
Davis, the runner at first, 0 for 1 trying to steal bases this year. And Smith fouls it back, 0-1.
Jeff Smith's really picking up his play here in the second half of the regular season and into the playoffs here. At one point, his average is below 200, but he's gotten up to about 225, which is, on the slow climb back to somewhere good.
Hits that ball well into left center field, but got under it. Left fielder Kraft calls for it, makes the grab. And there's one down here in the second. And that'll bring up Nick Kraus, everyday catcher for this Westside squad. Kraus 0 for 3 yesterday.
He's batting 164 so far this season with 3 RBIs, 10 hits, 15 walks. Really took over that starting catcher position after Kyle Hamner went down with an injury. Right now their backup is Azurski.
First pitch to Kraus. Line drive softly to center. Mikowski calls for it, makes the grab, 2 away.
Made good contact on that one, but unfortunately hit it right to the center fielder, Mikowski.
Now the 9-hole hitter, Riley Palmer. He had a double yesterday, 1 for 3.
Yeah, Riley Palmer, after striking out, was very frustrated at himself going back to the dugout, and you could feel the frustration emanating off of him. So it was a huge relief to him when he hit that double later on in the ballgame.
Palmer during the regular season, 209. Had some extra base power, 6 doubles, 3 triples, led the league, and 4 home runs. So he's got a little bit more pop than you typically see out of the 9 spot. As another throw to first chases Davis back.
He's got some speed on the base paths, too. I remember one point earlier in the season I was saying how he's not much of a base stealer, and then right after that he stole second and third base. So you got to keep an eye on him when he's on the base paths, too, because he can get in there.
He had 8 during the regular season. And the left-handed hitter takes high, 1 ball and no strikes. Takes a look over at his third base coach and manager Shane McCaddy, who was an assistant coach last year in the USPBL and skippering the expansion Westside Woolly Mammoths and trying to lead this squad to a championship in their first season.
He's not the only McCaddy either on the Westside Woolly Mammoths. His brother Luke McCaddy is a relief pitcher out of the bullpen for the Mammoths.
1-0 is cut out and missed, 1-1. Dad, a long-time big league pitching coach as well, so
it runs in the family, I suppose.
A lot of baseball lineage. Throw over again and again. Davis back safely. A lot of attention being paid on Davis, despite the fact that he did not have a stolen base during the regular season. Of course, Birmingham Bloomfield still waiting for the winner of this one tomorrow. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Birmingham Bloomfield coming off its 2nd consecutive league regular season championship, but they were upset in the championship last year by Utica and trying to avoid that tomorrow and just waiting on to find out which team they will play. Here comes the 1-2 to Palmer, and he cuts and misses for strike 3. Second strikeout of the ball game for Tanner Keast. And we head to the bottom half of the second inning. Still Westside 1, Eastside 0. Woolly Mammoths with a 1-0 lead, bottom half of the second inning. Cam Stewart will lead things off for the Diamond Hoppers.
Yeah, Cam Stewart for a while there was, I believe, had 2 of the 3 Triple Crown categories. He cooled off a bit the last couple of weeks, but he was a constant threat all season long.
Had a good year last year as well, playing second base again for Paul Noce. Finished 5th in the league in batting average, 301. Was just off the lead in homers with 8. And technically that's 4th in the league, but there were 3 guys that had 9. And then in RBIs, finished 4th with 35. Takes inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Also led the league in doubles with 15 and finished with the most extra base hits with 23. 1-0 pitch. Slide piece in there for a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, Cam Stewart also defensively plays second base for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, and he does a very good job. He's not overly flashy like DJ Martinez or Brett Balkin would be at short.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
But he got the job done, and you can't really complain about a guy who goes out and gets his job done.
Well, you talked about the roster consistency for Eastside, and it's not just a one-year thing as Stewart swings and misses at a slider, and that's 3 strikeouts in a row and total for McQueen. But they have had the same double play tandem for the entirety of the USPBL. Castro and Stewart were their double play combo for pretty much every game last year, and they are the double play combo again this year.
Well, it definitely helps when you have Ricky Castro at short, who is probably one of the best defenders in the league, and having that shortstop, he's just been consistently a great defender on top of being a great leadoff hitter. And you know, when you're together like that for all season long, you build that chemistry.
Mark Kruger cuts and misses, and it's no balls and a strike. Kruger 232 during the regular season, 3 homers and 22 RBIs. Lefty hitter takes a fastball just away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Travis McQueen's fastball tends to linger around 92 miles an hour. It's about average what we see out of the pitchers in this league, but he's got a good arsenal of pitches as well.
There's a swing and a miss by Kruger, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Westside 1, Eastside nothing in the USPBL semifinals. The 1-2 delivery home is swung on and missed, strike 3. 4 strikeouts total and consecutively for Travis McQueen.
Really seems like McQueen's finding a groove now here. Has 42 strikeouts and coming into the game on the season with 56 innings pitched, so he's not unfamiliar with striking batters out.
They erred, did Westside, in throwing the ball around the horn, but we'll forgive him on that. As this pitch to Achenbach is grounded softly to second base. Easy play for Lawson, and an easy 1-2-3 inning for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, who lead it 1-0 as we play in the top half of the third.
We are pleased to announce yet another player from the USPBL who has signed a contract with a major league organization. On the field, our USPBL chairman and CEO, Andy Appleby, and the newest member of the Minnesota Twins organization, current USPBL home run leader, graduate of Madonna University from Fraser, Michigan, and joined by his family. Has a few words he'd like to say right now.
Westside 1, Eastside nothing. As we play in the top half of the third inning in the USPBL semifinals with Brian Pfister. I'm Brad Golder. Fisher. I'm Brad Golder.
Wouldn't mind being related to Doug Pfister. He's
Yeah.
had a pretty good season with the Red Sox.
You're too short to be his kin. He's a tall dude.
Yeah, he's
You good at chess?
no.
Fisher's a big name, obviously, in chess. Is lost at swings and misses, nothing in one.
I can play checkers, but not chess.
Lawson in an open stance, struck out back in the first inning, and fouls this one off and finds himself in an 0-2 hole against Tanner Keast.
Well, you mentioned last time he was up about how he doesn't really hold back anything, even on 0-2 pitches. So let's see what he does here. Last time he struck out, obviously, like you just mentioned.
Native of Troy, Alabama. He waits on the 0-2 and takes a fastball up. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Troy, Alabama, a big college football town with Troy University. And obviously any town in Alabama is big in college football. This 1-2 is inside, 2-2.
Well, you got an SEC powerhouse down there, so.
2 of them
Two
with
of 'em,
Auburn.
yeah.
I think it's close. I think Troy is closer to Auburn than Tuscaloosa. But there's plenty of Crimson Tide in that state. 2-2 to Lawson. Fouls it off to the right.
That souvenir was brought to you by Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school.
Who you got today in Bama versus Fresno State?
See, that's a good question. I usually lean with Bama just because it's Bama, but
I think they can take him. This one is outside.
he goes
3
deep.
balls, 2 strikes.
Looks like he tried to go with a curveball that time, but it's nowhere close to the strike zone.
Big rivalry, or the big game today is OSU-OU. This one is fouled off, stays 3-2. Ohio State and Oklahoma battling.
Well, I hope you're rooting for Oklahoma because you always root against Ohio State. Don't disappoint me here, Brad.
You know what? I don't particularly care for either team. The 3-2 on the way is low and away, ball 4. I've got some favorites. One doesn't play college football. I like your OU.
There you go.
Not Oklahoma, but I like Oakland University for
Yeah,
college basketball and the other sports they compete in.
Yeah, they have a club football team now, and this is actually be the first season they're actually playing at Oakland University. Before they had to rent out a space, but they're going to be playing at Oakland this year, which is really cool.
I want to bring up Kent Blackstone, and the first pitch to him is fouled off the mask of the home plate umpire. A little wake-up call there for Sal Giacomintonio. 0-1.
You think WMU is going to be able to give Michigan State a ride tonight?
Coming in, they scored a defensive touchdown as I was driving in, and they were down by 7 against Michigan State. Throw over to first, runner back. So let's see how that one turned out.
I know some people were predicting that Western Michigan would upset Michigan State, but it's tough to say because Michigan State, despite having a bad year last year, is still a Big Ten team.
Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. By the way, Alabama did survive Fresno State, 41-10.
Survive, yeah. I guess that's the word you could use.
How did that Michigan State game turn out? Yeah, State won by 14, 28-14. 1-1 pitch, skied in the air. Second baseman Cam Stewart, outfield grass, now on the infield dirt. Squeezes it for out number 1. Cam Stewart took about 8 steps back and then ended up taking 8 steps in and was right where he started from. 1 down, and it'll bring up Thomas Feasel.
Yeah, sometimes when those baseballs get up high in the sky like that, you got a couple crosswinds that'll blow it all over the place. But not Tommy Feasel, who's singled to lead off the game for the Mammoths back in the first inning, stands in.
Michigan, by the way, was able to win over Cincinnati, maybe not as big as people thought, 36-14. There's a called strike to Thomas Feasel, 0-1.
I try my best to stay neutral in that whole Michigan State debate, but I know I have a lot of friends who are happy that Michigan won.
Throw over to first, runner back safely. Yeah, I mean, I didn't grow up here, so to me, it's not a big part, not something I think about. I root for Vanderbilt. That's where I went. They were able to handle Alabama A&M today, which I just learned was a school. 0-1 pitch is a strike called outside corner, 0-2.
I was about to ask you if you had misspoken, because when I hear A&M, I'm thinking Texas A&M.
And we started this whole conversation with Jalen Lawson, who is from Troy. Troy is leading at halftime, 20-7 over, is that Alcorn State? Or is that Alabama State? ALST. It could be either, I think.
You got me there. I'm not really good with the smaller schools.
That may be Alabama State. I didn't even know that was a thing. Maybe it's Alcorn.
Well, there's a lot of people, I'm sure, who don't know what Oakland University is either. They're probably thinking of...
It's Alabama State, yeah.
Yeah.
They would think it would be near San Francisco,
yeah.
in Oakland, California. 0-2 pitch home. Outside and high, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I do know that there is an Oakland University out there, too, because one time I Googled the university, and that was one of the results that came up.
Well, here, too, you hear people will say Oakland College, and you don't know if they're talking about Oakland Community College or Oakland University. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I know that one all too well. I got lots of people ask me to specify, because that's where I attend college currently.
Which one?
Oakland University. Exactly.
Yeah.
My point right there.
Chippewas, by the way, late in the 4th, lead at Kansas. 45-27. That'll be another BCS win for CMU as this one's chopped towards third. Achenbach was back, comes in, throws on the run, doesn't get him. Fiesel legs it out, and Westside has 2 on with 1 out here in the 3rd.
And you got a formidable guy coming up to the plate now, too, and Alex Abbott. He had that RBI double down the right field line his last time up that gave him the lead. Let's see if he can do that here again.
Abbott now 4 for 5 with 2 doubles and a homer in the postseason.
Yeah, if you're the Westside William Mammoths, I can't imagine anyone else you want coming up to a plate here in a scoring position.
First pitch, swing and a miss. Abbott took a big hack at it. It's 0-1. A lot of eyes today as well in college football. Notre Dame hosting Georgia, 2 ranked teams. Early on, Notre Dame has a field goal. That's all the scoring in that one. Auburn and Clemson. Auburn 6, Clemson nothing in the second quarter as that one's fouled off.
Got quite a few good matchups happening this week. I was surprised when the schedule got released that Michigan was playing a ranked team right off the bat last week, because normally you get a couple of those padded weeks where you play the schools that aren't as well known to kind of fill their stadiums, but right off the bat.
I mean, you had one of the probably the greatest Week 1 game of all time with Alabama and Florida State. Lawson bluffs, doesn't go as a curveball misses inside. 1-2 to Abbott. Lawson had feinted stealing third there, but held up. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out.
Double play ball could end the inning here for Tanner Keese and the Hoppers to get him out of this little bit of a predicament.
Popped up. Infield fly rule will be called. Third baseman Achenbach squeezes it. 2 away.
Sure, he'll take that too, though.
Now Ethan Whisker steps to the plate to the theme song of the movie Cars.
That's kind of ironic considering that it's Travis McQueen on the mound for him.
There you go.
Dan always loved calling him Travis Lightning McQueen. But Ethan Whisker had a base hit his last time up. They tried to score Alex Abbott when he had that base hit, but they ended up throwing him out at home, and that ended the inning.
Swing and a miss there, and it's 0-1. That's Life is a Highway, and that was Rascal Flats, yeah. Next pitch, swing and a miss at a high fastball. Tom Cochran had the original. The
really?
70s, I think, maybe early 80s. Life is a Highway, and then the Gentleman Flats ended up covering that for the Disney movie. 0-2 to Whisker. Lawson on the move, and he's going to make it without a throw as the ball's off the mitt of Oliver. Fiesel did not go initially, but he's going to end up sneaking into second base.
After that one gets behind Brandon Oliver, we got both runners in scoring position for Ethan Whisker.
You know, and that's going to be a stolen base for Lawson, but I think it's also going to have to be scored a wild pitch or a passed ball because it didn't look like Fiesel was going on the play. He went based on the result of the ball getting past Oliver.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if whether they'll make that a wild pitch or a pass ball because the ball was very high.
1-2 is fouled off, and the count stays at 1-2. I don't think you can give him a stolen base in that situation, statistically.
Not Fiesel. No, I don't believe so either.
But you don't see it very often where there's a stolen base and a wild pitch or pass ball in the same play, but I think that's going to be the case. 1-2 to Whisker. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And time called as Oliver will jog out to the mound.
Tanner Keys, who tends to walk a lot of guys so far, only has the 1 walk on the evening through the first 2 2/3 of his performance. And I'm sure he's hoping that he can keep that down further, but right now his primary concern is the runners on base as his team's already down by 1 run.
Next pitch on the way, chopped softly towards the left side. It's going to be the shortstop Castro throwing on the run, not in time. Infield hit brings in a run, and Westside leads it 2-0. That's an RBI single, albeit a soft single for Ethan Whisker.
Now batting the designated hitter number 10, Joe Davis.
Yeah, it's going to put runners at the corners here still with 2 outs for Joe Davis. Davis singled to lead off the top half of the 2nd inning.
So Whisker is 2 for 2 now. Fiesel at third, Whisker at first. 2 outs. Runner goes from first. Oliver makes no throw. And it'll be a stolen base for Ethan Whisker. Second steal of the inning for Westside.
I wouldn't be surprised there if what they were trying to do was bait the throw from Brandon Oliver so they could have Tommy Fiesel come home from third base, because I've seen that a few times this season out of, well, many teams here. Usually it's the Eastside Diamond Hoppers who try that, but the Westside Woolly Mammoths have done it too.
Low for a ball, 2 balls and no strikes. Keast sets and deals the 2-0, and that's on the outer edge for a strike 2-1. Don't forget tomorrow, 1:35 first pitch for the championship game. Love to see a lot of folks out here and support the USPBL in the championship. Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers will be the home team as the 1 seed, and they will play the winner here today.
We got a pretty good crowd on hand tonight with the left field patio, pavilion, and party patio just absolutely packed.
There's a 2-1 fouled off by Davis.
And I can expect it, especially with tomorrow being an afternoon game and the championship on top of that, that we'll have a packed house just filled with the brim with fans.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Pitch to Joe Davis. Ground ball weakly to the right side. Handled by Stewart on to first in time for out number 3. But the Woolly Mammoths score their 2nd run of the ball game. 2 hits, 2 runners left on base. We head into the bottom half of the 3rd inning. New score, Westside Woolly Mammoths 2 and the Eastside Diamond Hoppers nothing. Always a good half inning when ace of base is on in between innings.
Well, let's hope that that's true, because the Eastside Diamond Hoppers are down 2-0 here in the bottom half of the third. And John Kraft to lead things off.
Actually, that may not have been ace of base, now that I think about it. I may take that back, as this one goes to the opposite field off the bat of John Kraft. Back goes Whisker, and it's over his head. He misplayed it, started backpedaling too soon. It's up against the wall, and it's a leadoff double on the first pitch of the bottom half of the third inning for John Kraft on a ball that had some good carry there and fooled Whisker in left field.
And that's exactly why John Kraft was a finalist for Most Improved Player. I mean, he tends to hit baseballs like that, hits a lot of home runs, and like we said there, had a leadoff double that puts his team in a good opportunity to cut down on this deficit.
So now batter will be Brandon Oliver, the catcher, with a runner at second and none out. 2-0, Westside Woolly Mammoths with the lead. That's the second hit of the game for Eastside, and Oliver takes a fastball on the outside corner. Let's see if Oliver takes a shot at the right side here to try to move the runner up to third. He's got a big gap on the right side. Lawson is playing close to the bag at second base. Oliver with an open stance. The pitch from McQueen, and that one just off the outside corner with a slider. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Brendan Oliver so far this season's got an average of 217, or at least ending the regular season had an average of 217 with 1 home run and 11 RBIs, 18 hits and 5 walks.
There's a slider. Misses high, 2 balls and a strike.
So this would be a good opportunity here for him to get a hit that he just seems to be looking for. Tends to take big cuts at baseballs when he does swing.
Here comes the 2-1 delivery home, and a ground ball to the right side, but foul. Handled over there by first base coach Ed Campanello. He was our pregame guest today throughout the concourse on Chalk Talk. And my first opportunity to meet Ed, nice guy, and guy who's been a baseball lifer, enjoying this season in the USPBL. As that ball's blooped right side, could be trouble. Back goes Palmer, back goes Lawson. That ball drops fair. Rounding third, but stopping is Kraft. Now the ball is bobbled. He heads to the plate, and he will score as Kraus comes up the line. And into second base goes Brandon Oliver with a single, and Kraft scores to make it 2-1.
So Brandon Oliver coming up big there with that bloop single down the right field line, just barely staying fair. And we're still going to have a runner in scoring position for Ricky Castro as he looks to tie the game.
So the tying run is now at second base here in the bottom half of the third inning. Top of the order, and Ricky Castro, who singled up the middle in the first. Corner infielders come in anticipating a bunt. No bunt. It's a strike on the outside corner.
Ricky Castro's only got 15 RBIs in the season, but that's mostly because he hits in that leadoff spot. I was mentioning his last time up how consistent he is at the plate, and that's why his batting average is about 286. Mentioned how he had that hitting streak of 19 games.
Showed bunt offered at a pitch that was low, so the count is 0-2.
See if Castro can come up clutch here for his Hoppers team and tie this game and maybe shift the momentum a bit for this semifinal game.
No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Castro bloops that one left side. Blackstone, third baseman, goes back, but can't get there. It's a foul ball. And stays 0-2 to Castro.
Meanwhile, the If You're Happy and You Know It tune plays in the background. I don't hear your hands clapping, though. You not happy?
I was just kind of taking a study. I would say there's about 65% of the crowd here is both happy and knowledgeable of that fact. This 0-2 is high, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that might just speak to who's a Mammoth fan and who's a Hoppers fan right now.
Yeah. But if you're a Mammoths fan, you're happy that you got the lead. If you're an Eastside fan, you're optimistic because you just scored a run and have a chance to tie it up here with a runner at second. 1-2 to Castro, and that's chopped to the right side. Palmer fields it and steps on the bag, but a productive at bat for Ricky Castro.
Almost a swing bunt there.
It serves basically as a bunt, moving the runner up to third with one out. And a chance for Ian Mikowski to drive in the runner from third with one out. Looks like Westside's going to pull the corners in, play the middle infield back. Mikowski laid down a bunt his last time up.
Well, on top of that, he's probably one of the fastest, if not the fastest, base runners in the league right now. He flies down those base paths, so makes sense they want their infielders in.
Ground ball to third, and that eats up the third baseman Blackstone off of his chest, and it rolls into fair territory down the left side. Into second goes Ian Mikowski, and we are tied 2-2 on a sharply hit ball down the third base line that ate up the third baseman Blackstone.
And it looks like that one's going to – will that one go down as a hit or an error, though? Because it did go through Blackstone, but it was a scorcher hit to him. And I'm not
That's going to be a single,
It
or a
is.
double, rather. The error for Westside came on the play that scored Kraft, so
It was that Brandon Oliver single. So it was a single error.
but that'll be an RBI double. And the game is now tied at 2-2, and a visit from the skipper, Shane McCaddy. He heads out to the mound to talk things over with his starter, Travis McQueen.
I'm sure it's just a conversation to get him to calm down. He's been really good so far through the first 3 innings, or the first 2 innings here, but he's struggling here in the bottom of the third. He struck out at one point 4 consecutive batters, all swinging. And he'll step back on the mound as it's John Mencken, your MVP, who digs in.
One away, runner at second, now a tie score. Runner takes off for third, and it's a pickoff play, and he is out at third base. So McQueen with a good pickoff move there. Picks off Ian Mikowski. Trying to steal third. That's going to be a 1-5. And there's now 2 outs, and the base is empty for Mencken.
That's got to be a relief there, getting that guy at a scoring position with a dangerous hitter up.
Breaking ball catches the inside corner to Mencken.
John Mencken can still score a run here, as he himself could come home. He's got that power to do that, or he'll just take first.
Gets hit by a pitch. Breaking ball in. And he is awarded first base after getting hit by the slow breaking ball. 2 outs, runner at first, and Gomez heading up.
I suppose that's one way to avoid a solo shot from a power hitter. Probably not how he wanted it to happen, but puts a runner at first for, like you said, Gomez. Gomez, who last time up struck out swinging.
That one is low. Now a snap throw to first, and it sails down the right field line. Mencken was scrambling back to the bag, but the throw by Kraus goes down the right field line. Scooped up by Abbott. On his way to third is Mencken on a 2-base throwing error by the catcher Kraus. Mencken got too far off of first base, scampered back to the bag, but the throw by Kraus, the catcher, sailed up the right field line, and Mencken advances 2 bases, and he is 90 feet away from scoring.
Well, that's just got to be a frustrating play there. Right after they had picked off the runner Ian Mikowski to clear the base paths, they hit John Mencken, and then that error down that first base line from that throw from Kraus puts him at third base. It's an even worse situation than what they had just gotten themselves out of.
So now a 1-0 pitch to Gomez on the outside corner, evens the count. 2 errors in the inning for the Woolly Mammoths, and Eastside has tied the score up.
It almost appears as if the Mammoths are a little bit rattled now after those 2 runs were given up.
Outside, the count's 2-1. This pitch grounded towards shortstop. Playable for Smith, who throws to first for the out number 3. Eastside Diamond Hoppers have tied the score. They scored 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors, and a man left on base. We're a third of the way through this one, and it's a good one. 2-2 our score. Tie ball game now 2-2 as Westside bats in the top half of the 4th inning. A couple of runs pushed across by the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Both earned despite 2 errors in the inning.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate how things played out there for Travis McQueen, especially after he had gotten out of a little bit of a trouble with Ian Mikowski at second base, picking him off.
This one's fouled off by Jeff Smith, the shortstop. Bottom 3 in the order against Keast. Smith, Kraus, and Palmer.
Smith ended up flying out to the left fielder's last time out.
Outside with the slider, he did not go, 1-1.
He also got the assist on that final out to finally get the Mammoths out of scoring threat there. Or I'm sorry, out of the scoring threat from the Hoppers at the bottom half of the 3rd.
Here's a cut and a miss by Smith, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 2-2 in the top half of the 4th inning in the USPBL semifinals. Here's a chopper to short. Castro waits on the high hop, throws to first, and not in time. Smith legged it out. Close play over at first base, and it's an infield hit.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those here in today's ball game. Infield singles. Got a lot of speedsters on both teams, Jeff Smith being one of them. And keep an eye on him as he is a threat to steal bases as well.
Smith during the regular season, 12 stolen bases in 16 attempts. So a lot of options now for Shane McCaddy with his catcher Nick Kraus at the plate. Kraus shows bunt and pulls back. It's a strike.
Yeah, last time up, Kraus flew out to that center fielder, Ian Mikowski.
And I think this is a luxury in having a good hitter, at least a guy that's got power in the 9 spot in the order. In this spot, Kraus could lay down the bunt and set it up for Palmer as this pitch is high, 1-1. If you have a more prototypical weak-hitting 9-hole hitter, probably don't have Kraus bunting in this spot.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange to have him down there, but he's done well in that spot, which is probably the reason why they keep him down there. Similar to Thomas Rulis, who ended up being the average, having the highest average at the end of the season for the Beavers or for the USPBL in general. He was just producing really well in that 9-hole spot, so they didn't want to mess that up.
1-1 now the count to Kraus. He offers at a bunt, foul tipped it into the mitt for strike 2. So Kraus unable to get the bunt down. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 the count. Kraus open stance. Keast sets, delivers, and it's popped up. Right side, Gomez races over. So does Oliver, and it's out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Mentioned many times about all the foul territory we have here at Jimmy John's Field. Sometimes it's both a blessing and a curse, as defensively the defenders love it, being able to have that extra room to make a catch, but when it's their turn at the plate, they're despising it because they want those baseballs to get out of play so they can continue their at-bat.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Kraus. The stretch, the pitch home. Overhand curveball and a swing and a miss. Kraus down on strikes, and that is 3 strikeouts for Tanner Keast.
Yeah, it's not often we see Keast go to that curveball, but when he does, he tends to use it very well, and that time he got Kraus swinging. Surprisingly, though, Brad, that's only his 3rd strikeout on the evening, and from a guy who tends to strike out more innings or strike out more guys than innings pitched per outing, that's a little bit surprising.
Now Riley Palmer, swing and a miss there. Runner Smith had bluffed from first, and Oliver was ready. He came ready to fire out of the crouch, but Smith retreated back to first base, and no throw was made. 0-1 to Riley Palmer. 1 out, top half of the 4th inning, 2-2 score. Keast stretches and delivers, and there's a swing and a miss on a low and in slider. 0-2.
It's a tie ball game now thanks to the RBIs in the last half inning from, oh, I'm drawing a blank here. Help me out here.
Throw to first, runner back safely. What are we looking for?
The RBIs from the Hoppers. I'm drawing a blank here.
Mikowski had the double, and then Oliver had the single that scored a run, but no RBI on the play. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss.
Yeah, that tied the ball game up, and now Palmer goes down on strikes.
So now 2 outs with a runner at first base, and Jalen Lawson, top of the order with a strikeout and a walk today.
Eventually stole third, too, after he reached base on that walk.
This pitch is high to Lawson. 1 ball, no strikes.
Jalen Lawson, who the last couple of days was wearing a hoodie underneath his jersey because it was so chilly, goes
Runner on
without
the
it
move,
today.
swing and a miss, and the throw down to second, not in time. Smith steals the bag. Stewart, incredulous after he caught the throw, applied the tag, but just a split second too late. Smith steals second base, and the count is 1-1 to Lawson.
All right, there's that speed I was warning about when he reached base safely. Like you said, he had 12 during the regular season, and he's a threat on the base paths every time he's on.
So now the 1-1 pitch home to Lawson. Overhand breaking ball is outside, 2-1.
Not much of a breeze to speak of this evening. It was blowing pretty hard the last couple nights, but today that flag out there in center field is just laying still.
Now the 2-1 pitch outside with a fastball, and Lawson, who has already walked once today, with a 3-1 count. Here's the pitch home from Keese. Challenges him with a fastball. Lawson comes up empty, and it's a full count.
See what Lawson does here, the full count and 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. I got to imagine it'd be tough to let him swing on a 3-2.
Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes. And 5 strikeouts for Tanner Keese, 3 in a row. And he gets Jalen Lawson. The leadoff single by Jeff Smith, and the Westside Woolly Mammoths come up empty in the top half of the 4th inning. We go to the bottom half, and we are tied 2-2.
Leading off for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, the second baseman, number 2, Cam Stewart.
Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 4th inning. It is Cam Stewart to lead things off here for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. It's currently a 2-2 tie. Cam Stewart, his last time up, struck out swinging. Travis McQueen trying to settle down after having a rough third inning.
Waiting for some fans to head off the field. They were smiling for photographs between innings. And now Stewart set to stand in here against Travis McQueen, who rocks back and delivers his first pitch of the fourth. And it's a bender for strike one. Stewart, a strikeout victim against McQueen back in the second inning. That was part of 4 straight strikeouts for McQueen. Came a little 3/4 on that one. And a slider swung on a miss by Stewart makes it 0-2. Quickly the wind, the pitch home from McQueen. Outside with the slider, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about Travis McQueen ever since he started coming out of the starting rotation instead of the bullpen is he's very quick on the mound. He doesn't waste time between pitches.
And here he goes. Bounces it in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Seems like he has decided, along with his catcher Kraus, to feed Stewart with a steady diet of sliders. That's what struck him out back in the second inning. See what they do here on the 2-2. It's a fastball this time and a fly ball into center field. Fiesel handles it 1 away. One down, bases empty in a 2-2 tie. Mark Kruger steps to the plate. He was a strikeout victim in the second inning.
Yeah, 1 of 4 in a row from Travis McQueen at that time. He was really rolling through that first and second inning, having a 1-2-3 second on top of it. Ran into some trouble in the third, though. Gave up 2 earned runs, and we have a tie ball game because of that.
First pitch to Kruger misses away. 1 ball, no strikes. Kruger, the DH here this evening. Out of Draper, Utah. Swings and misses at a changeup. Count goes to 1-1.
Remember, Kruger was fighting an injury earlier in the season, that was about a month and a half ago now, where he was out of the lineup for a couple weeks.
First the 1-1, it's outside.
Came back and had a great weekend right after coming back from injury. He may only be hitting .232, but I know for the Hoppers he is a valuable teammate, and having him in the lineup helps reassure them too, because he's got some pop in that bat as well.
Comes a 2-1 pitch away, and it's 3-1. Another great crowd on hand for playoff baseball. The Fraser High School Marching Band, all 250 plus of them and their equipment out in the right field lawn area as Kruger cuts and misses. Full count 3-2.
Travis McQueen decides to locate that one on the outer third of the plate and gets Mark Kruger swinging, chasing after that one.
Now a payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 5 strikeouts for McQueen. His first strikeout since striking out Kruger in the second. But he's now got 5. And 2 outs, bases empty. Trevor Achenbach heads to the plate.
Trevor Achenbach with the jazzy electronic dance music. Thief by OK, I believe that song is. It's probably my favorite walk-up song in the league, although I know there are plenty of people who will argue me over that.
Called strike to Achenbach. 0-1. Montana native, Achenbach, ready to go. The 0-1 pitch, rather, chopped left side, and it scoots through into left field. Sing-eye single for Achenbach with 2 outs. And that is 5 hits against McQueen for the Diamond Hoppers.
Yeah, it's going to be John Kraftwell digging now. He had that double his last time up. Eventually came around to score thanks to the RBI from Brandon Oliver. That his double led off the third inning.
He's got a runner at first, 2 outs. McQueen sets and delivers, and that one just off the outside edge. 2 runs, 7 hits now for Westside with 2 errors. The hit by Achenbach was the 5th for Eastside. 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors.
Yeah, we talked a little bit.
First pitch, swing and a miss by a Kraft on a changeup, 1-1.
Yeah, we talked a little bit before the game about how good Westside's defense was yesterday, turning 4 double plays, I'm sorry. But they have 2 errors here today. It's a little bit odd. Maybe it's just a confidence thing. Maybe it's the cold. Who knows? But, you know, every game to game, anything can happen.
The 1-1 outside. 2 balls and a strike to Kraft. Achenbach leads at first. 2-1 pitch outside, 3-1. McQueen has not walked a batter in the game. He did hit Mencken to put him on, but has not walked a batter. Hitters count 3-1 with 2 outs. 2-2 tie. Bottom half of the 4th inning. McQueen to Kraft. Outside, ball 4. And 2 are on with 2 outs for the 9-hole hitter Oliver, who singled his last time up.
Yeah, he drove in John Kraft when he hit that single as well. And Travis McQueen, who got the first 2 guys out, one of them being Cam Stewart, with some ease, runs into some trouble here, giving up a hit and a walk to put a runner in scoring position.
And a ground ball, hard hit to the left side. Smith goes the short route to second to retire Kraft. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left on base. And we are through 4 innings at Jimmy John's Field. Score is still 2-2, Westside and Eastside.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
May attention, please. Now pitching on the east side. From Marksville, Michigan. Number 11, Matt Rappers.
Top of the 5th inning, and what's been a good semifinal matchup here today. The number 4 seed Westside Woolly Mammoths and the 2 seed Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Game tied 2-2. And Tanner Keast continues on for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in the top half of the 5th inning and misses high and wide. 1 ball, no strikes to Kent Blackstone, who has grounded to second and popped up to second base.
Kent Blackstone with those 34 RBIs in the season despite only batting .226.
Cuts and misses there, and it's now 1-1 to the left-handed hitting third baseman.
Blackstone went through a couple of weekends there where every time there's a runner in scoring position, he managed to bring him home. He was riding a hot bat there for a while, although has since cooled off.
1-1, swing and a miss, went down on nearly one knee. And the count is now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Blackstone leading things off here in the 5th in the pitch home. Outside, did he go? Appeal made, no swing. Pitch just missed, and it's 2-2 to Blackstone. Blackstone, Fiesel, and Abbott, 2, 3, and 4 in the 5th for the Woolly Mammoths. 2-2 pitch home. Breaking ball, outside corner, and a called strike 3.
That was a beautiful curveball there from Tanner Keys, starting out outside the plate and then breaking back over, just hitting that corner and getting Kent Blackstone without even a swing.
So Blackstone down on strikes. That's 6 strikeouts for Keist through 4 1/3. And now the center fielder, Tommy Fiesel, who is 2 for 2, a couple of singles, and he hits one hard and foul back behind the plate. Single to right back in the 1st inning, scored the game's first run, and then an infield single in the 3rd inning.
His consistency at the plate is why he's become an everyday starter for this Westside Woolly Mammoths, starting the season as a developmental player.
It was a breaking ball to Fiesel, misses high. 1-1 the count.
Along with those 2 base hits, he came around to score, which gave the Mammoths the lead back in the 1st inning, although it has since tied.
Check swing. Did not go around. The count is 2-1. Top of the 5th inning, 2-2 score. Fiesel fouls this one back behind the plate and out of play. It's now 2-2.
We mentioned earlier how McCaddies, they have a family, just a lineage of baseball. Shane McCaddy's father was with an MLB organizations throughout his career, but as that one comes in.
Breaking ball just missed inside.
But they're not the only family here with professional sports lineage. R.J. Fuhr on the Westside Woolly Mammoths, who's not playing today. His father was Hall of Fame goaltender Grant Fuhr, who won several Stanley Cups with the Edmonton Oilers.
Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. And Fiesel goes down on strikes. 7 strikeouts for Tanner Keist.
Remember how last inning I said Keist hasn't been striking out a whole lot of guys?
That's 5 straight.
Seems I spoke too soon again. It seems to be a curse of mine.
Well, he had 78 during the regular season in just 42 innings of work, which is obviously an impressive ratio.
Well, his last time out alone in the 6 innings pitched, he struck out 12. That's 2 strikeouts per inning, which is absolutely outstanding.
Breaking ball, low and in, and Abbott lays off. 1 ball, no strikes. Abbott a double down the right field line, drove in the game's first run in the 1st, also has popped up to 3rd. He is now 4 for 6 in the postseason, a couple of doubles and a homer. And he fouls this one back behind the plate, now 1-1 to Abbott. From Tifton, Georgia. I believe middle of the state. If I'm not mistaken, I've driven down I-75 a lot of times between, say, Atlanta and Florida line. I believe Tipton is the city that calls itself the cleanest city in America. This one lowered into Abbott, 2-1.
Well, you would definitely know more than I would. I have been to Florida, but that was a flight. The most south I've ever driven was to Tennessee, so never driven past down on I-75, past Georgia or Alabama or any of those states. But that's an interesting moniker for a city to have.
Here's a rip job by Abbott, right center field and deep. Mencken goes back, looks up, and it's gone. Alex Abbott, for the 2nd night in a row, has homered. I believe they threw the ball back in, and they are ruling that a double off the wall. I thought it went out.
Well, so did everyone else.
They
in the
are
stadium.
ruling it a double. And in stadium, they announced it as a home run over the PA, and I thought it went out. And I think Shane McCaddy thought it went out too, because he's going to go and talk things over with the second base umpire. And the first base coach is talking things over with the first base umpire. Second base umpire said, go talk to the first base guy because he's the one who jogged out there to make the call. This is a ballpark where the outfield fence from basically center field to the right field corner it's a chain link, so it's see-through. And sometimes those balls it's hard to tell whether or not it does, in fact, go over.
But on top of that, they also have that brick wall right behind the chain link fence. So if it hits off that brick wall back there, it can look like a double as well. So don't worry, you're not the only one who's made that mistake. I've done that a couple times this season as well. I mean, it's a trick of the eye.
You've got 3 umpires right now that don't, I think, officially know.
Yeah.
They're going to try to fake it, but they got together to huddle and see who had the best look as to whether or not that went out. We don't have the ability to replay, but from the naked eye, I thought it was gone.
Me too.
The PA announcer, Johnny, right?
Johnny G.
Johnny thought it was gone, and it is now being ruled they're going to keep the call as stands as a double for Abbott. So that is going to be a double for Alex Abbott, as the ball stayed in the ballpark, I believe, because they didn't rule it a ground rule double either. They were attempting to tag out Abbott at second base. So a double, he's at second, 2 outs, and the pitch home to Ethan Whisker misses outside, 1 ball, no strikes. So that's a big call in this ball game instead of a 3-2 lead for Westside. We'll have to see if they can push across Abbott here with 2 outs and him in scoring position. The 1-0 pitch home is down the middle but high, 2-0.
Yeah, that's the type of call right there that can really change the outlook of a baseball game. If that would have been ruled a home run, the Westside Woolly Mammoths would have had that 3-2 lead like you mentioned, and it could have really driven the momentum back towards their side. But that ruling as a double with 2 outs, that could stun any offense in this ball game.
Outside, 3 balls, no strikes. You know, one thing that would lead me to believe that the umpires got the call right, there wasn't a lot of argument from Shane McCaddy. He went out and questioned the call, but he didn't slam his helmet down and go out and scream and yell, as this 3-0 pitch is up and in, and Whisker draws a 4-pitch walk. So now 2 on for Westside with 2 outs, and Joe Davis will try to play the part of the hero.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that one. If Shane McCaddy was so accepting of the call, it's pretty paramount of what that baseball really did out there. You were right, though. I thought it was a home run for sure as well, especially right off the bat, the sound it made and the arc it was taken. It looked like it was going to go, but like you said, that clear chain link fence out there, it can be tricky.
2 outs, 2 on, and the pitch home to Joe Davis is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. That's 5 straight out of the zone from Tanner Keast, and I think a smart move here. Oliver is going to jog to the mound and calm his pitcher down here a little bit. You know, he had to sit through the umpire's discussion, and he did throw a couple warm-up pitches, but since that controversial call and, say, a few-minute delay, he has not thrown a strike.
Well, before that, he had struck out 5 consecutive batters, and that double, well, I'm sure he's hoping, and all the Hoppers are hoping that's not too much of a deal-breaker for him.
1-0 is in there for strike 1. Davis a single to right back in the second inning. He has also grounded out to second base. 1 for 6 now in the postseason. Keast with the 1-1 offering. Swing and a foul tip by Davis. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Joe Davis's last time up, grounded out to the second baseman, Cam Stewart. Does have a base hit in the game, though, for a total of 1 and 2.
1-2 pitch is lined to the right and foul. It stays 1 and 2. Two tie, top half of the 5th inning. The stretch. Pitch home. Outside with a breaking ball. 2-2 to Davis.
He was tempted to swing at that one. You can see the thought cross his mind. That bat budged a little bit, but he was able to hold up as that was a breaking ball that broke outside the zone.
2-2. He offered at it. It was upstairs, but he couldn't hold up the swing and strikes out. And Tanner Keast, upon reflection, is able to keep the Eastside Diamond Hoppers off the board. A double with 2 outs for Abbott, and then a walk, but 2 runners left on base. Halfway through this one here at Jimmy John's Field, Westside and Eastside tied 2-2.
The shortstop, number 7, Ricky Castro.
It's the bottom half of the 5th inning at Jimmy John's Field with Brian Fisher, Brad Golder. 2-2 tie, and the Eastside Diamond Hoppers coming to bat here for the bottom half of the 5th inning against Travis McQueen. And his pitch is low and in.
Yeah,
1 ball and no strikes.
Ricky Castro at the plate here to lead things off for the Hoppers. He is 1 for 2 so far today. Had a base hit in the first, but most recently he grounded out to the first baseman.
This one's up and in from McQueen. 2-0 to Castro. That's 61 pitches for McQueen, who has been efficient here in the 5th. First, the 2-0 to Castro is right in there. He's taking it all the way. Meanwhile, Tanner Keast, I don't think he's going to come out for the 6th inning. He has thrown 111 pitches through 5 innings as Castro fouls this one back. 2-1 the count. So it looks like Paul Nochi is going to find a new hurler for the 6th inning. Although there is no bullpen action in the moment.
I see. Looks like one guy up and stretching maybe.
Castro hits that to first. Knocked down there by Palmer, and he steps on the bag. I mean, we saw the 2 starters both go well over 100 last night, with Murray throwing 111 and 130 thrown by Jeremy Holcomb. So maybe Keast will add to that 111.
Well, last night it was, like you said, Jeremy Holcomb, who going into the top of the 9th inning already had over 120 pitches, and they let him go out there for the 9th to face one batter, and he ended up walking him. So I wouldn't be surprised. There's been a couple times this season where we've had pitchers go well over 100.
Mikowski, the batter, takes up and in. He slapped one hard to the left side past the third baseman Blackstone for a double. He also has a sacrifice bunt. Takes strike 1, 1-1.
I got to imagine if I'm Tanner Keast, too, especially because you've been pitching fairly well throughout the game. You've been striking out a lot of guys, but also not walking a whole lot.
1-1 pitch, bunted, but bunts it foul, and back behind the plate, 1-2.
That if I was Tanner Keast, I'd be lobbying to come back into the game and using the fact that Holcomb went out there with all those pitches as reasoning that you can do it.
One ball, 2 strikes to the Grand Rapids, Michigan native. The 1-2 pitch home. Ground ball softly to the right side. Lawson fields. Mikowski runs well, and the throw gets past the first baseman, Palmer. Backed up by Kraus, the catcher, but Mikowski advances to second on the play. Lawson didn't charge the ball. He waited on it, and Mikowski runs well, but I think a good throw gets him at first base, but it sailed past Palmer, and Mikowski takes second on the play.
Well, that's going to be could be a dangerous error there for the Westside William Mammoths, especially when you have hitters Mencken, Gomez, and Stewart coming up next.
And that will be scored an E4 throwing all the way against Lawson. It will not be a hit and an error. It'll be a error all the way. And now Mencken, the batter, the league MVP, takes a breaking ball called strike one.
There's a good breaking ball there by Travis McQueen. Had that one on a string.
Mencken saw a first pitch breaking ball back in the third and was hit by it. He has also struck out. The 0-1 pitch waves and misses at a breaking ball that was low and away. And John Mencken behind in the count, no balls, 2 strikes.
Travis McQueen knows he can strike out John Mencken. He did that back in the first inning, like you mentioned. Now the thing is, can you do it again here with a runner in scoring position in a tie ball game?
The 0-2. Fastball is away. Mencken, in addition to playing in the USPBL, also an assistant coach in college baseball for Winthrop, where he played college baseball. 1-2 to Mencken. Breaking ball is inside. 2-2.
That one near the hands of John Mencken. He already got hit by a pitch today, but you got to give him credit for the resolve there. He didn't budge out of that batter's box with that pitch coming in.
Runner Mikowski leads at second base. The stretch in the 2-2 home. Breaking ball is outside, and it's full now to Mencken.
And that's just one of the reasons why John Mencken is such a dangerous hitter. He knows, not only does he hit the baseball with power and consistently, but he also knows when to lay off pitches as well, put himself in favorable positions at the plate.
Here comes the payoff pitch. Swing and a high fly ball to left. He got under it. Whisker goes back now in and makes the grab. 2 away. Mencken hit that ball a mile in the air. 2 away. And here comes Esteban Gomez.
Let's see if the cleanup hitter can come up here and, well, clean up. He's got an opportunity with 2 outs to give his team a 3-2 lead with Ian Mikowski down there at second after he reached on an error. Again, 3 errors today by the Westside William Mammoths is a little bit strange considering yesterday they were such a good defensive team. But anything on any given day, I guess, can happen.
In theory, so far the errors have not hurt. The 2 runs in the third were both earned. This one is a strike, 0-1. If they can keep Eastside off the scoreboard here, it would still be the case that all the runs would be earned. Gomez could change that here. He's 0 for 2 today. Left-handed hitter with a slightly open stance. Calls time, steps out of the batter's box.
Gomez's last time up, grounded out to Jeff Smith down there at short. He also struck out swinging today. So he's 0 for 2 over in that cleanup spot.
Breaking ball, able to catch the outside corner, and it's 0-2. 2-2 tie, bottom half of the 5th inning.
Your second baseman, Jalen Lawson, down there is playing a little bit on the outfield grass.
0-2 pitch home is fouled off by Gomez. Mikowski, the runner at second. He reached on a throwing error by Lawson. He takes his lead. McQueen sets the 0-2 pitch home. Gomez chops it, first base side. Palmer tries to field a bad bounce, knocks it down, tries to go over to the bag, then comes off the bag, picks it up, and it's late. And Gomez able to reach on a ball that was softly hit to first that Palmer misplayed, but a ball that also took a kind of strange hop, maybe off the lip between the grass and the dirt over there in the cutoff at first base. And they will score that an infield hit for Esteban Gomez.
Yeah, that just took an unfortunate bounce over there when it got into the dirt. It bounced away from the defending Riley Palmer, and like you said, just got away from him. And now we have runners at the corners.
So another break for Eastside. Really 2 guys on base that probably shouldn't be on base, as a breaking ball's in there for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, and it's not getting any easier for Travis McQueen on the mound either, as he's facing off against Cam Stewart here. Cam Stewart with 8 home runs was second in the league in home runs. Well, technically, like you said, fourth, but 3 guys tied for first.
Ball in the dirt, blocked by Kraus. Counts 1-1 to Cam Stewart. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. And the bottom half of the 5th inning, 2-2 tie in the USPBL semifinals. McQueen fires. Runner goes. Gomez. Kraus bluffs the throw. Now he's got the runner hung up between third and home. Mikowski. The throw to third. Now Kraus races the runner back. Underhanded flip. Lawson covering the bag. And Lawson, who came all the way over from the second base position, applies the tag. And Mikowski a little over-eager at third base on that double steal attempt because Kraus bluffed the throw, never made the throw. And Mikowski is put out. That'll go catcher to third to catcher to the second baseman. 2-5, 2-4 on the putout to end the bottom half of the 5th inning. Another threat for Eastside, but they do not score. A hit, an error, and a runner left on base. We go to the 6th inning. Still tied, 2-2.
Leading off for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, the shortstop, number 2, Jeff Smith.
Shortstop Jeff Smith will lead off the top half of the 6th inning. Westside and Eastside tied up at 2 apiece. And a semifinal round of the USPBL playoffs. The winner plays tomorrow at 1:35 against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Smith hits it well to center. Mikowski racing back, makes the grab. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top half of the 6th inning.
Yeah, I do see some action down there in the Hoppers bullpen now. It's a lefty up and throwing. As I get my handy-dandy binoculars out to try and investigate who that is.
Well, I've got 3 candidates.
I think it might be Stafford.
Gomez and Alexander are the other options as that one misses. 1 ball, no strikes to Kraus.
Pretty sure it's Michael Stafford, though. It was either 18 or 19 I saw through the lens of those binoculars.
The 1-0 to Kraus. Cut on and missed. And it's 1-1. That's 114 pitches now for Tanner Keast. He has struck out 8 in 5 1/3. 1-1 outside to Kraus, 2-1.
Yeah, Nick Kraus had that phenomenal bluff in the bottom half of the 5th inning that ended up catching Mikowski in a rundown and kept the game tied after a couple of errors.
There's a line drive to center field. Another chance for Mikowski, who races over, makes the catch. He's been a busy man here in the top half of the 6th inning. 2 gone.
Yeah, Kraus got a lot on that one. Hit it really hard, but unfortunately, Mikowski with all that range out there in center field was able to get down there in time and run it down.
So 2 outs. Bring up the first baseman, Riley Palmer, who was 0 for 2.
Struck out swinging both times. He's going to be looking to change that here.
He looks at ball one on a breaking ball. Low and in. 2-2 tie, top of the 6th inning. Keese delivers. Palmer takes low and in. And it's 2-0. Hitters count here for a guy who's racked up some extra base hits during the season. Palmer with 4 homers, 6 doubles, and a trio of triples. So that one's fouled back behind the plate, 2-1. 3 triples led the USPBL this year.
Yeah, despite only batting .209, he's got quite a bit of power in that bat. So when he does hit the baseball, he tends to go for extra bases. And like you said, I think you said he had 8 stolen bases during the regular season as well. So that speed helps him get around those paths as well.
8 is correct, and a ball outside makes it 3-1. You can sit on something here, 3-1 with 2 outs. Keast winds and delivers. Fastball high, ball 4. Keast walks the 9-hole hitter. And now with 2 outs, Jalen Lawson steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a walk, a couple strikeouts. He scored a run back in the 3rd.
Yeah, Jalen Lawson hit a home run back, I believe it was Thursday. This baseball game, it was his 3rd of the season. Hit that one over in the Chevy Pavilion in left field.
Keese now sitting at 121 for pitch count.
He's pulling a Madison Bumgarner here.
This one's fouled back. To use the USPBL example, he's pulling a Jeremy Holcomb. Threw 130 last night for the Woolly Mammoths. Another throw to first, and again, runner Palmer back safely.
Diamond Hoppers probably just want him to get those 6 innings in and get that quality start before turning to their bullpen. Although they do have quite a few solid bullpen arms. Jordan Pinell and Michael Gomez all season long were very, very strong candidates.
A 1 pitch is high, and the count now 1-1 to Jalen Lawson. Westside batting top half of the 6th inning in a 2-2 tie. Only one team advances to play in the championship tomorrow afternoon. Outside, just off the corner to Lawson. 2-1 the count. You wonder if this would be the last batter for Keast if he cannot retire Lawson. With the lefty warming up in the bullpen. 2-1 pitch. Lawson takes off the plate away, 3-1.
It's hard to tell because the way it's set up, normally, most of the time I've seen it, and sometimes I talk too soon, the manager will make a visit to the mound prior to the visit to the mound to pull him off just to give that reliever more time. But he's been warming up now, I think since before the half inning started, so they might just pull him right away.
3-1 pitch, hit foul, back behind the plate by Lawson. It's now a full count to Jalen Lawson with 2 outs. Palmer the runner at first. He will be going on the pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the first baseman, Gomez, informs his pitcher that he will play behind the runner. Here's the stretch by Keast. Palmer takes off. The pitch to Lawson. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He takes his bat and pounds it into the dirt in frustration. Lawson has struck out thrice here tonight. And Keast able to work around a 2-out walk. 9 strikeouts for Tanner Keast. And we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Still a 2-2 tie.
baseman, number 2, Cam Stewart.
Bottom half of the 6th inning, 2-2 tie here at Jimmy John's Field. Travis McQueen delivers his first pitch at the bottom of the 6th inning to Cam Stewart, who fouls it back, 0-1. Stewart was at the plate when Mikowski was caught stealing and picked off at between third and home.
Yeah, quite a few assists in that play as well. It's 2-5, 2-4. Catcher third base, catcher second baseman before they finally applied the tag.
Cam Stewart waves and misses at that one, and counts now 0-2. McQueen shakes off a sign. Now the 0-2 pitch. Slider low and away. Get a steady diet of sliders to Stewart in this one.
Still no one up and throwing in the Westside William Mammoths bullpen. I see a couple.
Slider swing and a miss by Stewart, and he goes down on strikes. 6 strikeouts for McQueen.
Just see a couple guys stretching out there for them.
One down. Base is empty for Mark Kruger, who's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts.
Mark Kruger not having the best day, not his best game at the plate right now. Like you said, with those 2 strikeouts. With one out here in the bottom of the 6th. As that one is a strike. He's going to look to change things here.
Wind by McQueen in the 0-1. Low and in, off the mask of Kraus. And it's 1-1 to Kruger.
Stafford still warms up down there in that Hopper's bullpen. Have to imagine he definitely comes in now.
127 pitches for Keast through 6 innings. I will agree with you on that as Kruger swings and misses 1 and 2.
Got a sea of white out there in the right field hill with the Frazier marching band out there.
There's a 1-2 pitch fouled off by Kruger. It stays 1 and 2.
All 250 of them.
McQueen set to go. He winds in the 1-2 again to Kruger. Swing and a miss, and he's down on strikes. He did get a piece of it. Foul tipped into the mid. Back-to-back strikeouts in the 6th for McQueen, who now has 7. And it'll bring up Trevor Achenbach, the third baseman, who's 1 for 2 today.
Yeah, he had that base hit last time up in the bottom of the 4th inning. Other than that, he just grounded out to Lawson at second. Now he's back in the 2nd.
First pitch high to Achenbach. 1 ball, no strikes. Next pitch misses. It's now 2 balls and no strikes.
Achenbach with a interesting last name. There's been quite a few that have stumped me and Dan back when he was calling the games with me throughout the season. Jellikowski was one too.
2-0 called a strike. 2-1. With Jellikowski, you would think it would start with a J, but
yeah,
it starts with a G. I guess a soft G.
If you look at it, it looks like it's pronounced Grizzlikowski, and that's how he did pronounce it the first game.
There's a high fly ball to center field by Achenbach. Fiesel goes back and makes the grab shy of the track for out number 3. Achenbach skies to deep center field. It's a 1-2-3. Bottom half of the 6th inning for McQueen. And we go to the 7th inning, still tied, 2-2.
Hey, it's Matt Derry out here in right field in front of the merchandising tent and the trailer. We're having a blast. Get your USPBL gear right here. We've got 24 different kind of hats. We've got jerseys, pennants, foam figures. This Westside Woolly Mammoths jersey is straight fire. You've got to get these jerseys, these hats, everything out here in right field. And, of course, the merchandising area behind home plate in the grandstand. Check it out. Hey, it's Matt.
Brad and Brian back with you here at Jimmy John's Field. Top half of the 7th inning. New pitcher in for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. It's lefty Michael Stafford. He faces left-handed hitting Kent Blackstone, who tries to bunt his way on, bunts it foul, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, Tanner Keese had a pretty impressive performance on the mound. Only goes 6 innings, but earns that quality start. 6 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 runs, both of which were earned. 3 walks and 9 strikeouts, so pretty impressive performance by him.
Ball high, 1-1. Big pitch count, 127 pitches thrown, 76 for strikes.
Well, that's just something you expect out of Tanner Keese. He attacks the strike zone hard. He strikes out a lot of guys and tends to walk guys too. Well, though only 3 today.
Ripped by Blackstone into right field. It's a base hit. Mencken over to cut it off. Blackstone around first. Takes about 12 steps and then holds up. Leadoff single for Kent Blackstone to begin the 7th inning for the Woolly Mammoths. Leadoff man is aboard. And Tommy Feasel steps in.
Feasel so far today is 2 for 3, although he did strike out his last time up. That was a swinging strikeout as well.
Eastside may get things cranked up again in the bullpen. They're starting to stir down there. Feasel the batter. First pitch inside and low. 1 ball, no strikes. Feasel has a couple of singles today to go along with a strikeout.
Yeah, Stafford on the mound right here, the left-hander for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. He's got a record of 3-2 this season. ERA is 6.35, not the best we've seen. He's got 22 games played. He's given up 34 innings pitched. He's given up 32 hits and 31 walks and 41 strikeouts.
On a big spot here. Tie ball game in the 7th. Leadoff single by Blackstone. He leads at first. The 1-0 to Feasel. High with a fastball. It's 2 balls, no strikes.
When Stafford initially joined the Eastside Diamond Hoppers back earlier this season, he was a starter for the first 3 games, but they felt his talents were better used in the bullpen.
2-0. Again to first. And again, Blackstone is back safely. Blackstone a threat to run. He's got 8 steals. He's been caught 3 times. This is a Westside team that guys in the top of the order will run. Lawson, Blackstone, and Feasel.
You mentioned how there's action again out there in the bullpen for the Hoppers. It's the tall righty Tyler Palm warming up.
2-0. Low with a fastball, 3-0. I don't think he's been warming up long enough where he could come on to face Abbott. They probably would rather have the lefty anyhow against Abbott. 3-0 pitch is on the outside, Black, 3-1.
Well, at best, they're probably just keeping their options open unless in case Michael Stafford does get hit up.
Here comes the 3-1. Feasel hits it hard off the glove of Stafford to shortstop Castro, who has no play. It'll be an infield hit, a hard hit comebacker that Stafford got a glove on. It rolled between the mound and the shortstop Castro, and no play. It's first and second with none out. Paul Nochi to the mound. But again, with a right-hander warming up and Abbott a left-handed batter at the plate, probably not going to make a move here. This is probably strategic.
Well, you got 2 guys on the base paths who can run and run fast as well. We saw, I believe it was the Eastside Diamond Hoppers try to pull off a double steal earlier in this ball game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Westside Woolly Mammoths try something similar, although with 0 outs on a tie ball game and a runner already in scoring position, I'm not entirely sure how likely that is.
You've also got a situation for Westside where it's a tie ball game in the 7th inning. You got no outs and runners at first and second, and there are a lot of circumstances in which this would be a bunt situation, especially with a lefty on lefty. But I don't think it is here with Abbott, who is swinging the bat well, has 2 doubles in the game, has 5 hits in less than 2 postseason games, and I think he's swinging away here. I don't see any situation where Shane McCaddy has him bunting.
And yet you still have your third baseman, Trevor Achenbach, down there playing close to the grass just in case.
Here's the stretch, and Stafford's delivery home. Line drive, right field, it's a base hit. Blackstone around third. He's being waved to the plate. Menken's throw comes into second base. It's an RBI single for Alex Abbott. 3 straight hits for the Westside Woolly Mammoths in the 7th against the reliever Stafford, and Westside takes the lead 3-2.
And there again, Alex Abbott comes up huge for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. That's now his 2nd RBI of the day, 3rd hit, and he's just swinging the bat well. His bat's on fire here in this postseason.
And that's going to do it for Michael Stafford as Paul Noce makes his 2nd consecutive visit to the mound, and they are going to bring on the right-hander Palm with nobody out. Eastside now down by a run and runners at the corners. A call to the bullpen for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. We'll give you the details when we come back. Eastside Diamond Hoppers will turn things over to the former Oakland Golden Grizzly, guy who #wears the bear. Tyler Palm, the big right-hander, takes over on the mound. 6'9", 240 out of West Branch, Michigan, Ogama Heights High School, and he faces a jam here. He's got 2 on at the corners with nobody out, and Westside has already scored in the inning to take a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, he's inheriting both those runners from Michael Stafford, whose day is done after not even recording a single out. Gives up 3 hits, 1 run. 1 earned run as of now, but that could change.
It only took 10 pitches, but Stafford got the Diamond Hoppers into a world of trouble. Woolly Mammoths now with 11 hits in the ball game, and the big right-hander will face Ethan Whisker as Palm stretches and delivers to Whisker outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Now, Tyler Palm so far, he finishes the regular season with an ERA of .450 and 16 innings pitched. Has 9 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 12 hits, and does not have a single decision on the season. He's 0-0.
1-0, line drive, left field base hit just out of the reach of Achenbach, the third baseman. A run is in. It's 4-2 on the RBI single by Ethan Whisker, who is 3 for 3 today. That's 4 consecutive singles for Westside to begin the 7th, and they lead it by 2.
Now, we've been talking about Alex Abbott all day here with those 2 doubles and 2 RBIs, but Ethan Whiskers has been having a great day too. That's his third base hit today. He has an RBI as well and a walk, so he's 3 for 3. He's been doing a great job too.
Still nobody out. DH Joe Davis, who's 1 for 3 today. Now, this could be a bunt situation. They obviously did not bunt with Abbott at the plate, first and second, and none out. But this could be a bunt situation. Davis, the 6-hole hitter, choking up on the bat. Corner infielders in. First and second, none out. He shows bunt, takes it, and it's a strike. First baseman Gomez was charging hard. What Davis is going to want to do here is get it down to the third baseman Achenbach.
Pull him off the bag and then just force the throw to first.
Bunt shown, and he gets it down but foul. And it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Joe Davis so far today is 1 for 3. He struck out swinging his most recent time up, and like you're saying, Brad, just hope that he can lay down a good bunt here and move the runners over.
No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. The stretch. And Palm delivers to Davis. Shows bunt again. Takes it, and it's just off the outside edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oliver held it there to try to get the call.
Well, that's one thing Brandon Oliver is really good at. He's really good at framing pitches to get the calls that the pitchers need. So he may not be a I don't want to say not a threat at the plate. He's batting in the low to mid 200 range, but he's really good at framing those pitches. He's great defensively.
1-2 softly up the middle. Castro able to dive and knock it down. Rounding third, heading to the plate is Abbott. Here comes the throw. He dives head first, jars the baseball loose. There was a collision, but it was a head first slide by Alex Abbott, but he jarred the baseball loose. Into third base goes Whisker. Davis safe at first on what will be scored an RBI infield single. It was softly hit up the middle past the pitcher, and then the shortstop Castro able to knock it down. Abbott went in head first on a slide, but I think he got the brunt of a collision on a head first. So you're obviously going with your head into the catcher and might have gone right into the shin guards. But he is going to be tended to by the training staff, but actually jogs back to the dugout. And in the process, the baseball came loose, although I don't know if Oliver ever really had full possession of the baseball. It would have been a very close play at the plate.
Yeah, it's a good sign seeing Alex Abbott jog off under his own power there. He's been such a driving force in the Westside William Mammoths offense here in the postseason that to see him go head first into a dive like that, it kind of gives you a little nervous.
You know, and that is maybe by the actual definition of the word a collision, but that's not a collision in the baseball sense of the word, that the collision that's been taken out of the game of baseball and outlawed, because he slid, although it was a dive head first, but in the process of the slide it did become a collision, but that is not by any stretch an illegal play with the new rules in baseball. 5-2 the score. Now a softly hit ground ball to third. Achenbach to second for 1. Now the throw goes to the plate, and Whisker, who started towards home, will head back to third. So Eastside does not go around the horn to try to attempt a double play. Instead, the out at second, and the throw comes to the plate and holds Whisker at third. So 1 out. It's going to be a fielder's choice. There was a little discussion there between both teams as to whether or not that should have been a hard and illegal slide at second base, but that was ruled a legal slide into second by Davis, who is forced out. And then Whisker holds at third after bluffing, and Smith reaches on a fielder's choice to third.
Yeah, an interesting decision there by, I believe it was Cam Stewart at second base with the relay, to decide to go home with that instead, but I believe that was probably because of the slide that was really his only option.
So runners at the corners with one out. That ends a streak of 5 consecutive singles by Westside. Runner goes from first, pitches inside. The throw goes to third. Close play, but Whisker safe back standing, and Jeff Smith steals second base.
Mammoths there trying to go at that double steal. These catchers have done a very good job of being aware of that. Nick Krause earlier with that pickoff, and here Brennan Oliver's almost getting the same thing there.
Pitch missed inside. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Eastside brings the infield in. Westside leads at 5-2. Krause open stance, waits, takes strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5 runs, 13 hits now for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, who were last in the league in batting average during the regular season.
Well, that's what just makes this playoff format such a threat, because even even teams that were not necessarily the best offensively or, let's say, pitching-wise, defensively throughout the season, if they just have a couple of good games, get the ball really rolling here, they can become a serious threat, and that's what's happening here at the Mammoths.
1-1, and Krause comes up empty on a big swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Because that's what happened with the Utica Unicorns last year. They were last place. Back then the Mammoths didn't exist, so they were last out of 3. They had to play the Eastside Diamond Hoppers to take on the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, and they got that ball rolling with the momentum going, and that's what's happening with the Mammoths here, and they're really finding a groove.
There's a swing and a miss, and Krause down on strikes. 2 away now in the 7th, and it'll bring up Riley Palmer, who was 0 for 2 with a walk and a couple of strikeouts. Whisker, the runner, at third. Smith, the runner, at second.
Intentionally walk.
And they will intentionally walk it. It's a little bit of an unusual play because you don't see the 9-hole hitter walked very often.
I mean, I think I understand where they're coming from, because he does have that pop in his bat, but he ends the season batting .209, and he is 0 for 2 so far today with those 2 swinging strikeouts, and with 2 outs, it's an interesting decision to intentionally load the bases here.
That being said, Lawson has struggled in the postseason, 0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts. He did walk earlier today, and he takes ball 1 outside, but it has been a struggle in the postseason for Jalen Lawson, but chance to break this ball game wide open. Westside already leads it by 3 with 3 runners on base. And the top of the 7th.
Yeah, Lawson's had a lot of bad swings so far this postseason.
Palmer takes outside, or Lawson rather takes outside from Palm, and it's 2-0. So a guy who takes big swings, hit 3 homers during the regular season, is going to see a fastball down the middle of the plate here. 2 balls, no strikes in all probability.
That's what I was about to say.
And it is a fastball. It's at the knees for strike 1.
Yeah, like I was saying, he's taken a lot of bad swings so far this postseason, but it only takes 1 swing of the bat for him to be able to drive in a few runs here. And like I said, he did have that home run earlier this week in the final regular season game of the season.
Now the stretch. The 2-1 to Lawson. Just missed the outside corner with a fastball. 3-1. That has been a consistent pitch today from the home plate umpire. Called a ball. He has not given the pitchers that 1 to 2 inches off the plate that we saw last night. And that has been very steady here tonight. Hitters count 3-1 with 2 outs. Pitch to Lawson. Swing and a miss. And that was a big league swing by Lawson. But he comes up empty and the count is full.
And Lawson knows they're trying to strike him out, because he knows that they know that he struck out a bunch already. But when he sees those fastballs coming down, it's such a hard temptation to resist to try and swing.
Runners go, 3-2, 2 outs. It's low, ball 4, and Palm has walked a run in as Lawson draws the bases loaded walk. It is 6-2 Westside. They have scored 4 here in the 7th. The bases are still loaded, and the 10th man to bat in the inning is the man who led it off with a single to right, Kent Blackstone. bases still loaded. We're seeing some more bullpen action for Eastside. The stretch, pitch to Blackstone, hard hit ground ball right side. Stewart, the diving play, throws to first in time to retire the side, but not before the Westside Woolly Mammoths take the lead in a big way. 4 runs in the inning. They do so on 5 hits. They also drew 2 walks. No errors and 3 left on base. We head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. A new score, Westside 6, Eastside 2. Westside Woolly Mammoths have distanced themselves in this one. Bottom half of the 7th inning. It is now a 6-2 Westside lead. And John Kraft will lead off the bottom half of the 7th inning against Travis McQueen, who has allowed a couple of runs over 6 innings and delivers pitch 93 of the ball game. And it's a called strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, I still don't see any action going on in that Westside Woolly Mammoths bullpen.
Strike called on the outside corner, nothing in 2.
They're really hoping that Travis McQueen can put together a nice 7th inning here. He's got a comfortable lead to work with.
Low and in for ball 1 to Kraft. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So 6-2 Westside here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Wind by McQueen, the pitch home, and a fly ball lifted shallow right field. Abbott in, under, and makes the grab. 1 away, Kraft retired. And here comes Oliver.
Brendan Oliver, his last time up, hit into a fielder's choice. He's 1 for 2 today. He does have an RBI single, though. One of the only 2 runs that the Hoppers have gotten across the home plate today.
Big swing and a miss by Oliver, 0-1. First year for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, and they're right now 8 outs away from playing for the championship. Looks like it's going to be 7. Here's a fly ball, shallow left center field. Whisker and Fiesel over. Center fielder Fiesel calls for it, makes the catch. And 2 quick outs for Travis McQueen.
We got the right-hander Torrey DeShazer up and throwing for the Hoppers in their bullpen. He was a starter for most of the season, but fell into the bullpen when he fell in some hard times.
Top of the order, and Ricky Castro looked to start a 2-out rally. Takes high, ball 1. For McQueen, this will be pitch number 100. And it's a fastball low. Two and 0 the count to Ricky Castro, who's 1 for 3 today. Led off the ball game. It's the home half of the ball game with a single. 2-0 pitch. He was taking all the way. It made no bones about it. He took one hand off the bat, in fact, at one point.
Oh.
Pitch is a strike, 2-1.
Ricky knows what he likes down there at home plate, and he didn't like that pitch.
McQueen works quickly, slapped to the left side by Castro, base hit into left field. So the leadoff man is aboard, but with 2 outs. And now Ian Mikowski, who's got an RBI double today, 1 for 2.
Reached on an error his last time up before getting picked off at third base.
Here's the pitch, and that is low and in. 1 ball, no strikes.
Take a step back and talk again about Ricky Castro. He is probably one of the funniest guys I've ever talked to in this league. He and Brett Balkin, every time you talk to him, they always put a smile on your face.
1-0. Bunt shown by Mikowski. He takes inside. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
So even if you're not a fan of the Hoppers, he's just one of those players that you always root for regardless, just because he's such a fun and he's a big personality too. Always finds a way to make you laugh.
The 2-0 pitch. Strike called on the outside corner, 2-1. Now the stretch, the 2-1. Just missed inside, 3-1 to Mikowski.
I do see someone up and throwing now on the Westside Woolly Mammoths bullpen. It is a lefty up and throwing, although he's wearing a jacket, so I can't tell who he is.
And ball 4 misses inside to Mikowski. So after 2 quick outs, McQueen has surrendered a single and a walk. And he will now have to face the league most valuable player with 2 outs and 2 on. And let's see if it will, in fact, be McQueen who will face him, or that sweatshirted right-hander in the bullpen, as the skipper for Westside, Shane McCaddy, makes his way to the mound.
That is number 24 now. He took it off, and that'd be Joel Sharon warming up down there. Doesn't look like he's going to take the ball from him yet. Looks like a conversation maybe to extend that warm-up period for that bullpen arm.
It's unofficial, but I've got him at 107 pitches, give or take a couple here or there. But I think 107 is about the number. And he's going to be allowed to face Mencken.
An interesting little tidbit here is when we first started the season, I remember these starting pitchers, despite even if they were having a good game, wouldn't go very far over 80. Now, it was the beginning of the season, so you didn't want to overtax them. Interesting little reflection now, considering they get over 100 pitches and they're out there for 120 plus. Just the confidence the managers have in their starting pitching is pretty phenomenal.
Mencken takes high, 1 ball and no strikes. Prior to the ball game, John Mencken was named the league most valuable player and ended up leading the league in both on-base percentage and slugging percentage. As this pitch is inside, it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Still searching here, though, for his first hit of the ball game. He is 0 for 2, reached base in the 3rd thanks to a hit by pitch.
So a hitter's count here for Mencken. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 on, 2 out. Westside 6, Eastside 2, but Eastside threatening. The 2-0. Breaking ball is high. 3-0 to Mencken with Gomez on deck. If he got to bat here in this 7th inning, he would be the tying run. 3-0 from McQueen outside, nowhere near. And McQueen was allowed to face another hitter, and he threw 4 straight out of the zone. And this, I would think, would be the end of the road. 4 straight out of the zone. The bases are loaded for Eastside, and here comes Shane McCaddy, and he will pull the trigger. Night is over for Travis McQueen, who got 2 quick outs in the 7th inning, but a single and 2 walks have loaded the bases for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Esteban Gomez represents the tying run. 6-2 Westside. Eastside threatening against a new pitcher when we come back. The new pitcher for Westside will be the left-hander, Joel Sharon, who will inherit the bases loaded and 2 outs. Westside Woolly Mammoths leading by 4, but Esteban Gomez heading to the plate representing the tying run here in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
Yeah, Joel Sharon taking over on the mound. He's a left-hander. He is got an ERA at 2.84 with a record of 2-1 in 19 innings pitched. He's got 27 strikeouts, 18 walks, and 18 hits. He's a strikeout machine on the mound. 27 strikeouts in 19 innings is pretty impressive.
He will work from the stretch with the bases loaded and throws it to the backstop inside on Gomez. Runners do not advance. Remember, a very small distance between home plate and the backstop. And Castro does not advance on a first pitch well out of the zone. 1 ball, no strikes to Gomez.
Yeah, Joel Sharon on the mound is inheriting all 3 of those runners from Travis McQueen. McQueen went 6 2/3, giving up 7 hits, 2 runs. Could be at most, I believe, 5 earned runs on the. I'm sorry, not 5. Can't do math. 7 earned runs on the day if these. No, 5 earned runs. What am I talking about? I can't do math. 5 earned runs if these 3 men on base come home to score. 3 walks and 7 strikeouts. He did hit a batter as well, so he's hoping Joel Sharon can come out here and get out of this jam.
It's 1-1 to Gomez. The pitch home is upstairs. 2 balls and a strike to the power hitting Esteban Gomez at 4 homers during the regular season. Bases are loaded. 6-2 Westside. The stretch. The pitch from Sharon. Outside corner at the knees. Got a pitcher's pitch call there. 2-2. Gomez didn't like it. Sharon on in relief of Travis McQueen. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sharon nods yes, sets, and delivers to Gomez. Comebacker past the mound. Smith has it go between his legs into center field. 1 run is in. Heading to the plate is Mikowski. He scores. And into third goes John Mencken as the ball got under the legs of the shortstop Smith, who had to range far to his left on a ball that was not a hard hit line drive, but it got past the pitcher Sharon and then got past the shortstop Smith. 2 runs are in, and it's 6-4.
That was a big hit there by Esteban Gomez. That propels his team back into the game, now only down by 2 runs. Runners at the corners here for, again, another power hitter, Cam Stewart. And
that's not an error on Smith. As it got past him, it would have been a very tough play for him to get an out. But that is a play where at minimum you want to see Smith keep it on the infield to prevent that second run from coming across. Runners at the corners now. Cam Stewart had a productive regular season. He takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. That will be a 2-run single for Esteban Gomez. The 1-0, Stewart takes, strike at the knees, outside corner, 1-1.
Like I was mentioning just before that, both those runs that scored will be charged to Travis McQueen. So he'll have 4 earned runs now on the day. 1 more if that runner at third base, which is John Mencken, comes to score, could hit his max of 5.
1-1, and Stewart cuts and misses. And it's 1-2 to the Eastside second baseman.
You can sense the desire from Cam Stewart here to try and tie things up or even give his team the lead if he hits a home run here as he's swinging for the fences on that last pitch.
Mencken at third, Gomez at first. Gomez kind of bluffing off the bag. The 1-2, swing and a miss. And Stewart goes down on strikes. So the Eastside Diamond Hoppers get a couple back, but strand 2 runners on base through 7 innings. New score, Westside 6, Eastside 4.
Got a mask on here for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please direct your attention to the video board. Someone has a very important question to ask.
Eastside gets a couple back in the bottom half of the 7th inning, also strands a couple of runners. And we play in the top half of the 8th inning in the USPBL semifinals. Westside 6, Eastside 4, and Eastside going to the bullpen again. Fourth pitcher of the game is the right-hander Torrey DeShazer, and the first pitch swung on, line drive right field by Fiesel, and it's down for a single. So Tommy Fiesel begins the 8th inning with his 4th hit of the game, a single to right.
Yeah, Torrey DeShazer so far this season, he's 2-9. He has a pretty rough ERA of 8.50. He's got 54 innings pitched, giving up 55 hits, 44 walks, and striking out 56. The thing about Torrey DeShazer was he was very good usually through the first 3 or 4 innings, and then he'd get roughed up later on. So I agree with the decision to put him in the bullpen because he seems to do better early on in his performances.
Takes over for Tyler Palm, who gives up a run in an inning, but also surrendered 3 inherited runners as well. 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 intentional, 1 strikeout. So now Alex Abbott bats against DeShazer with a runner takes inside. Abbott 3 hits today, 6 hits for the postseason.
Yeah, 2 of those hits that he has today are extra base hits. He has 2 RBIs as well, and he had that home run last night. He's been a force to be reckoned with at the plate. That's all you can really say.
I mean, as a total, as a team, Westside now with 14 hits. And this ball is lofted in the air, shallow center, long run in for Mikowski. He can cover a lot of ground, and he ends up making the catch, almost overran the ball, ran in and towards left, and ended up catching the ball off to his left hip.
Yeah, he really flies out there on the outfield and on the base paths. I wasn't kidding when I said he was probably the fastest runner in the league. He absolutely looks like he's just flying out there. To him, or to us, it looks like not that big of a deal, but he just covers a lot of ground in no time at all. And that's a big out for Torrey DeShazer on the mound to get out Alex Abbott, who's been so hot this year, or this postseason.
So now Whisker with 1 out. Runner at first, and a slider is away. Whisker's got 3 hits today. So 14 hits for Westside, 4 for Fiesel, 3 for Abbott, 3 for Whisker. And Whisker's been on base all 4 times with a walk mixed in there.
Yeah, this game feels a lot different than last night's game, that's for sure.
Outside and low, 2 balls and no strikes.
Last night we had the pitchers duel all the way through the first 8 innings where it ended up being a 3-0 victory for the Mammoths, and here it's 6-4. The bats have come alive, especially for the Mammoths, who have, like you said, 14 hits already. They seem to have found their stuff.
Runner goes from first. Inside, the throw down, and it's late. A little bit to the second base side of the bag as well. And Thomas Fiesel with the stolen base. He took 6 during the regular season. Gets 1 here. The pitch was inside, so 3-0 to Whisker. They could put him on with first base open now.
Yeah, Ethan Whisker, who ending the regular season with only average of $191, has really done a great job today. And I don't know if I'm Torrey DeShazer on the mound, I don't know if I do want to face him here today because he's already 3 for 3 with that walk and 3 base hits and an RBI, as well as I believe at least one stolen base. He's been amazing today.
And they will, in fact, put Whisker on. So that sets up a inning-ending double play, perhaps. Joe Davis, 2 for 4 today, stands in.
He's also got an RBI of his own. His most recent at-bat was a base hit as well, before being forced out at second base.
Davis chokes up on the bat, and the pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes. (6-4) Westside. They bat in the top half of the 8th inning. Winner advances to tomorrow's championship against Birmingham Bloomfield. The 1-0. Ground ball, right side softly. Stewart goes to second to Castro. That's 1 on to first. They get the double play. That ball was not hit that hard, and it was a bang-bang play at second, but they were still able to turn it on a 4-6-3 double play. And they are, in fact, able to get out of the top half of the 8th inning. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Still Westside 6, Eastside 4.
Okay, fans, it's time for the classic
Come on.
race between attention, please. Pitch hitting for Mark Kruger, number 22, Chris Power.
We head to the bottom half of the 8th inning here at Jimmy John's Field with Brian Fisher. I'm Brad Golder. USPBL semifinals and a pinch hitter to begin the bottom half of the 8th inning for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. We're going to turn things over to Chris Power. Had a good regular season, 281. As he takes a look at a ball low. Go along with 4 homers and 16 driven in. But was not in the starting lineup for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. He bats for Mark Kruger and takes a called strike there. It's now 1-1. Joel Sharon, the lefty, continues on for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Winds and delivers. Bunt shown by Power. He bunts it foul, 1-2.
Yes, Chris Power, for a while there, was doing a little bit of first base coaching. He was out for a while because of an injury, and it's good to see him back here in the playoffs. He's going to be a much-needed player for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers if they can make it past tonight's game. Taking over from Mark Kruger, who struck out swinging all 3 of his at-bats.
1-2 outside. Power last year was the runner-up for the batting title in the USPBL, missing out by 2 points to Nick Wilson. 2-2, he cuts and misses, and Power down on strikes. Second strikeout for Joel Sharon. And that spot in the batting order has struck out all 4 times for Eastside. 1 away, here's Trevor Achenbach.
Trevor Achenbach so far is 1 for 3. Flew out to the center fielder, Tommy Fiesel's last time up.
Called strike, 0-1. Sharon came on in the 7th with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Gave up a 2-run single, but then struck out Stewart to get out of the 7th inning jam. The 0-1 pitch, off-speed pitch, and Achenbach was way out in front. Comes up empty. It's now 0-2. (6-4) Westside, bottom half of the 8th inning.
After that 2-run comeback by the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in the bottom half of the 7th inning, Joel Sharon's out here trying to prevent any further.
This ball's in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Kraus. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The Mammoths just 5 outs now away from advancing to the championship tomorrow. They hold a 2-run lead. They're really going to need the relief pitching to come on here and just lock it down and hope that maybe they can get a couple insurance runs across the plate in the top half of the 9th inning.
The 1-2 to Achenbach. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Sharon. Kraft now the batter with 2 outs. And the base is empty, except for it won't be John Kraft. Paul Nochi's going to send up another pinch hitter in the inning. Casey Chenoweth will bat for Kraft in the 8th spot in the batting order.
Now, Chenoweth normally plays third base, so I'd keep an eye out on the defensive side of things for the Hoppers to see how that shifts in the top half of the 9th inning as well.
Chenoweth batting for Kraft, who had a double, a walk, and a fly out to right. And a strike call to the outside corner to Chenoweth, who had 261 during the regular season. 8 doubles, 1 triple, 2 homers, and 17 driven in. The wind and the pitch. Out in front of an off-speed pitch, it's 0-2.
I talked about when Joel Sharon took over on the mound, how he's a strikeout machine coming into today. He had 27 strikeouts and 19 innings pitched during the regular season, and he's already got 3 strikeouts in 1 2/3. I'm sorry, not even that, just 1 inning pitched.
All of his outs. 0-2. Check swinging a ball in the dirt. He went around. Appeal made to the first base umpire. And Chenoweth is tagged out by the catcher, Kraus. So the lefty, Joel Sharon, strikes out the side in the 8th. And we proceed to the top half of the 9th inning. Still Westside leading Eastside 6-4. Defensive changes for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers as we play in the top half of the 9th inning. Joe Maroney will take over in center field. He'll bat in the 8th spot. And the center fielder, Mikowski, will slide to left. DeShazer remains on the hill here in the 9th inning. His task is simple: get 3 quick outs and gives his offense a chance to try to score 2 to tie it or 3 to win it. Ball high from DeShazer to Jeff Smith. 1 ball, no strikes.
Jeff Smith so far today is 1 for 4. Last time up hit into a fielder's choice.
High, he offered at it. And it's 1-1 to Jeff Smith.
Talked a couple times already about how yesterday Jeff Smith had that crucial base hit yesterday that ended up being the game-deciding hit. There's a 2 RBI single, just a bleeder through the left side.
There's a fastball, strike at the knees, outside corner, 1-2.
He'll start off here in the top of the 9th, see if maybe the Mammoths can get a couple insurance runs across home plate before heading to the bottom of the 9th with a 2-run lead. If the lead stays that way, I should say.
And a swing and a miss. Smith chased a slider well off the plate away. And DeShazer records his first strikeout.
Next up for the Westside, Willie Mammoths.
One down in the 9th. Nick Krause steps to the plate.
Krause seems to be batting in a pattern here. He is 0 for 4. He flew out to the center fielder, struck out swinging, flew out to the center fielder, and struck out swinging. So if he follows that pattern, should fly out to the center fielder.
Kicking the pitch home. Fouled it back. And it's 0-1. Krause 0 for 4 today. DeShazer nods yes. Winds and fires. Good bender in there for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes.
Nick Krause earlier in the ball game was part of that pickoff down the third base that got Ian Mikowski. That was that 2-5-2-4 play. And that ended the scoring threat in the 5th inning for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. That would have given them the lead, too.
DeShazer winds and delivers. Check swing. Did he go? No swing. On appeal to the first base umpire. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Speaking of Ian Mikowski, he is out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, playing left field right now after Joe Maroney came in to play center. Grand Rapids, their hockey team, the Grand Rapids Griffins, won the Calder Cup this past year.
Comebacker past DeShazer into center field for a base hit. Nick Krause. Solid single up the middle with 1 out. As Westside looks to add some insurance. And Riley Palmer heading to the plate.
Krause breaking out of that pattern there, getting a base hit. Bringing up, like you said, Palmer, who is 0 for 2, struck out swinging 2 times, and walked and intentionally walked his last 2 times up.
We're in the 9th, 6-4, Westside with the lead. It's 15 hits now for the Woolly Mammoths as this ball's chopped foul down the first base line. Ball game was broken open in the 7th. 2-2 tie at that point when Woolly Mammoth struck for 4 runs. The inning began with 5 straight singles by the Woolly Mammoths. The ball skied in the air on the infield. Shortstop Castro calling for it and squeezing it for 2 outs. In that 7th inning, Eastside responded with a couple of runs of their own. 2-run single by Esteban Gomez, and they had 2 on in that 7th inning. But Stewart followed with a strikeout, and they have not threatened since. 2 outs here in the top half of the 9th inning. Jalen Lawson takes way high, 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, Lawson is 0 for 3 so far today. He has drawn 2 walks, but struck out swinging 3 times. Strikes out swinging again here. He earns himself that golden sombrero. He's going to try and avoid that here.
Ball off the inside corner. 2 balls, no strikes. And he's got the hat trick of strikeouts. He could record the hat trick of walks as well. He has earned a couple of free passes. 2-0, a big swing, and he fouls it off the netting.
The last time he walked, it was to bring a runner home, and he's got himself an RBI with that walk. The bases were loaded at that time.
2-1 to Lawson, 2 outs, runner at first. 6-4 lead for the Woolly Mammoths. Torrey DeShazer stretches. And the right-hander deals. Breaking ball splits the middle of the plate, and it's now 2-2 to Jalen Lawson. 9-1-2 in the order, due up for Eastside in the bottom half. DeShazer stretches, and his 2-2 homeward. Line drive softly to the right side on a couple of hops. Stewart knocks it down, has no play. It was kind of an in-between soft line drive, and Cam Stewart shuffled over about 15 steps to his left and could not field it cleanly. And Lawson able to reach on the play, and that will be scored an error on Cam Stewart, allowing Lawson to reach.
And that'll bring up Kent Blackstone, who's got a runner in scoring position.
That's a tough play for Stewart. I don't know. It's kind of one that can go either way. This one's chopped towards first. Gomez charging it, fields it on the short hop, and steps on the bag for out number 3. Really makes no difference on that play by Stewart. The runner's left stranded on base for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Last chance for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers going into the bottom half of the 9th inning. Westside 6, Eastside 4. We go to the bottom half of the 9th inning in the USPBL semifinal round. And the Eastside Diamond Hoppers looking for 2 runs to tie it up, 3 to win it. It's 6-4 Westside Woolly Mammoths, and for the second straight game, the Westside Woolly Mammoths will turn things over to Andrew Cohen to try to save it. He saved last night's win with a scoreless 9th inning of work. He goes from a 3/4 arm angle and delivers a strike outside corner at the knees to the catcher, Brandon Oliver, 0-1.
Yeah, you mentioned about how last night he came in and got the save. He's been phenomenal all season long for those Westside Woolly Mammoths.
This one is down the middle but high, and it's 1-1.
He has got an ERA of 2.57 right now. A record of 1-1, 7 games played, 7 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 6 hits.
Slider too far away, and it's 2-1. Brandon Oliver leading things off in the 9th against the sidearm right-hander Andrew Cohen. Joel Sharon, an inning and a third, 4 strikeouts. All of his outs on strikeouts.
That was a beautiful breaking ball right there by Joel Sharon. I'm sorry, not Joel Sharon. He's the last pitcher. Andrew Cohen started out inside near the hands of Oliver, but broke back over the plate and just froze Oliver there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch home. Outside with a slider, the count is full. Any runner who reaches will bring the tying run to the plate in the ninth. Westside 6, Eastside 4. The stretch by Cohen. The payoff pitch. Missed outside. Close pitch. And just outside. It was either just outside or just low or some sort of minute combination of both. It was a very close pitch. But ball 4, and Oliver draws the leadoff walk.
That's going to bring up Ricky Castro, the shortstop for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, and so far today he is 2 for 4. He has grounded out to the first baseman Palmer twice, but also has 2 singles, and last time up came around to score after he singled.
Pitch taking low, 1 ball, no strikes. Castro a couple singles, 2 for 4. Palmer holds the runner on at first. The pitch home. Castro waiting till he gets a strike, and he gets one. At the knees, it's 1-1. 6 runs, 15 hits for the Woolly Mammoths. 3 errors, 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for Eastside. Castro slashes at that one, fouls it off to the left side and out of play. It's now 1-2 to the Eastside shortstop.
If I'm Andrew Cohen on the mound, I'm doing everything in my everything in my power to try and avoid the 3 through 5 hitters. They are so dangerous for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Now,
pitch home, hits him. Castro hit by the pitch, and the tying run reaches in the bottom half of the 9th inning. A painful way for Castro to reach base. So now Ian Mikowski will bat with nobody out, 2 on, and he will visit with his third base coach, Paul Nochi. And a decision for Eastside. Do they use Mikowski here in a bunt situation and trying to slide the tying runner over to second base, or do they let him swing away? Paul Nochi's going ahead and giving the signs right now, even though he's conferencing with the runner at second, Oliver, and the batter Mikowski. And in the meantime, Shane McCaddy heads to the mound to talk things over with Westside. So a lot of decisions to be made here.
Interesting to note, there is also a lefty up and throwing in the bullpen for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, and that is Sean Kennedy. So maybe they're just keeping their options open here.
Mikowski is a good handler of the bat. And we'll see if he's asked to bunt. Corner infielders are in, or if he's swinging away. The stretch, the pitch, he shows bunt and takes. It's a strike on the outside corner. Mikowski laid down a sac bunt in the first. He doubled and drove in a run in the third. He reached on an error in the 5th, and he walked and scored in the 7th. Stretch, the 0-1. He again shows bunt. This time it's off the plate, 1-1.
Cohen there looking to go back to the same location as the last pitch, but unfortunately didn't get the call this time as it was ruled a tad high.
Runners at first and second, none out. Oliver, the catcher, leads off second. Castro off first. Bunt shown. Mikowski takes. Off the plate away. 2-1 to Ian Mikowski. Paul Nochi gives the signs just outside the third base coach's box. Palmer creeping in over at first. The stretch. Mikowski bunts. Third base side. Cohen has it. Looks at third. Throws to first, and it's in time there. Palmer, the first baseman, took the throw. Cohen fielding the bunt, looked at third, but the third baseman Blackstone charged in. So no play there. The base was vacated, and a successful sacrifice for Mikowski. Moves the runners up to second and third.
Yeah, that's going to put both runners in a scoring position. The tying run being Brennan Oliver. The tying run being Ricky Castro at second base, Brennan Oliver being at third, and the go-ahead run being John Mankin, the power hitter, at the plate.
League MVP bats and takes a fastball low. Just missed. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, so far today, Mencken is 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd and walked in the 7th. And looking to get his first hit here. It'd be a big time to get one.
Chops it off the plate, third base side. Cohen off the mound, fields, throws to first, and it's in time to get Mencken for out number 2. Mencken with a chopper off the plate, but had a chance to leg it out. Cohen fielding his position on back-to-back plays. So Mencken with the chopper off the plate, and it brings up Esteban Gomez to bat with runners at second and third and 2 outs.
Yeah, Gomez is 2 for 4 so far today. He already has 2 RBIs after that 2 RBI single back in the 7th inning that made it 6-4, getting a couple runs back after the Mammoths scored 4 in the top half of that inning. Let's see if he can come up clutch here again and bring home 2 more to tie this ball game.
And they will intentionally walk Esteban Gomez. He's a dangerous hitter and a left-handed batter, but that's a surprise to me. They just put the winning run on at first base.
Willingly.
And I know you got a sidearm guy, and it's, more susceptible against a lefty, but Cam Stewart's a good hitter in this league. He has struggled today 0 for 4, but they intentionally walk Gomez, and the bases are loaded for Eastside. The pitch from Cohen. Chopper off the plate, left side, foul. 0-1. Stewart struggled today, and he didn't finish the regular season strong. But, you rarely see a team put the winning run on an intentional walk. Cohen's ahead, 0-1. The pitch to Cam Stewart. Sidearm slider floats away, 1-1.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that sentiment, Brad. He is 0 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts swinging, but he's still a dangerous hitter, and to willingly put the winning run at first base is an interesting tactic.
1-1 is swung on and missed. That was kind of an Adrian Beltre caliber swing as he went down on that right knee as he swung and missed, and the count's now 1-2. Eastside down to its final strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th inning. Westside leading at 6-4. Pitch from Cohen. High fly ball, left field and deep. Whisker back, track, wall, caught. Ball game over. Cam Stewart sent it to the warning track in left field, but the ballpark held it, and the Westside Woolly Mammoths, in their first year as a franchise, will advance to the USPBL championship game tomorrow afternoon, and they hang on for a 6-4 victory here tonight.
And Ethan Whisker backing all the way up against the wall, and fans from both teams were not sure if that one was going to get out. And to watch that one fall into the glove of Whisker, you heard lots of, saddened O's, and then you heard all the roaring applause of the Westside Woolly Mammoths fans.
A very aggressive and interesting strategy pays off for Shane McCaddy. And, I think we talked about it. There had to have been kind of the 2 thoughts in his mind there. Do you pitch to Cam Stewart, who has struggled a little bit lately, but risk putting the winning run on at first base? And the strategy pays off, although Stewart put a good swing on it with 2 strikes and just barely missed getting it out of here. And this one, an exciting one to the finish, but in the end, won by the Westside Woolly Mammoths. And they are 2/3 of the way from a championship after winning the last 2 games. And as the 4 seed finishing the regular season in last place, they've got a chance to play for a championship tomorrow afternoon. What a wild ride. What a great win for the Westside Woolly Mammoths.
Yeah, it was a real Cinderella story. It is a real Cinderella story. The number 4 seed coming back, trying to win here. You got Alex Abbott being interviewed right now. I saw Cam Stewart down there between first and second, and he was crouched, obviously very upset about the fact that ball just couldn't get that extra foot to get out. Chris Power came over to help console him, and it was a hard-fought season all the way around. And if I'm Cam Stewart, I'm sad by the result of that baseball, but he had a great season, as did the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. So there's nothing to be ashamed about, especially with a hard-fought battle like this.
Final score, 6-4. The Westside Woolly Mammoths advance to the championship game, winning against Eastside. Travis McQueen with 6 2/3 innings will be credited with the victory here in the playoff game. Cohen comes on, gets the final 3 outs to save his 2nd game of the postseason. And the losing pitcher, Michael Stafford, who struggled in the 7th, facing 3 batters and not getting any of them out. They all end up scoring, although they were all inherited runners who ended up scoring. But at least 2 of them were. But Stafford takes the loss. A 2-2 tie into the 7th inning when Westside scored 4. They recorded 5 consecutive hits on a couple of different pitchers, Stafford and Palm. And with those 4 runs, took a 6-2 lead. Eastside responded with a couple of runs of their own. An Esteban Gomez 2-run single with 2 outs. All the action that in the 7th inning coming with 2 outs. Single, walk, and then a 2-run single by Esteban Gomez. And in that inning, Eastside stranded 2 runners on, Cam Stewart striking out. Then after a 1-2-3 8th inning, Eastside batted again in the 9th inning. Led the 9th inning off with a walk and a hit batsman. Then a sac bunt moved the runners up. Then with 2 outs, an intentional walk of Esteban Gomez loaded the bases. And again, Cam Stewart had an opportunity to drive in some big runs. Sometimes in the game of baseball, the game offensively ends up resting on the shoulders of one guy. And for Stewart, he had that situation in the 7th, and then the situation just moments ago here in the 9th inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs with the winning run on at first base. He got 2 strikes on him, a 1-2 count, and then sent one deep into the air into left field, but it was caught on the warning track, and that's how this ball game ended. And Eastside coming so close to heroics from Cam Stewart there in the 9th inning.
Yeah, like you said, sometimes it just rests on the shoulders of one guy. And if I'm the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, yeah, he had a rough outing here today, but if I have Cam Stewart up to the plate with 2 outs, with bases loaded, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. And he put a good charge into that one. It died off at the wall on the warning track where Ethan Whisker had his back up against the wall. And like I said, he looked very, very downtrodden for the result of that. But if I'm the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, I don't feel ashamed about the turnout of this ballgame. You gave it a good fight. You had a good season all along. You came in 2nd in the league, and it was unfortunate that that's how it just turns out. That baseball, if it would have gone another foot, would have turned it the other way. But it's just how things go sometimes.
All right, let's turn the page. Let's look to tomorrow. A USPBL championship on the line as the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers with a double bye. They didn't play yesterday. They don't play today, but they get the double bye into tomorrow's championship game by means of finishing the regular season with the best record at 28-24. Although the Eastside had a 28-24 record as well, but tiebreaker gave Birmingham Bloomfield the best record in the league. They end up advancing and play a Westside team that's coming off of back-to-back ball games. So, you look at it, Westside's going to be more tired. The pitching staff's going to be more taxed. They're going to have to kind of fight and claw and try to piece together a pitching staff for the game. But, the game of baseball, you're used to playing on kind of an everyday basis. There is, and because you had Holcomb who threw 8 innings last game, you have the starter McQueen goes 6 2/3 today. You really have a lot of options. Maybe they're not your best options. You've used your best options so far, but you do have a lot of options, a lot of different arms that you can go for. If you're the Westside Woolly Mammoths, we don't know who they're going to start. That's going to be up to Shane McCaddy, but there are plenty of rested arms, and they kind of take the, all hands on deck approach going into tomorrow.
Yeah, if I were to take a guess, like right now, I would guess that Sean Kennedy would probably get the start. He has started in the past for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, although as of late, he was moved to the bullpen in favor of Travis McQueen. But he has that experience. He knows what it's like, and it doesn't mean he has to go deep into the ball game either.
No, I mean, there's plenty of arms out there because, even Cohen, who has pitched in both games, he only went 1 inning each. I mean, I think he's available. I think everybody but Holcomb and McQueen would be available for tomorrow's championship game. Meanwhile, obviously, everyone is available for Birmingham Bloomfield. It's one game to determine the season. They did not play yesterday or today. So, if you're Chris Newell and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, you've got your ace going on the mound. They're going to go with Randy Wynn as the starter. But, if he struggles in even the first inning, not only do they have their typical relievers available, but they could go with one of their starters.
They got Jake Welch.
Yeah.
Jake Welch has been dominant on the mound all season long for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers as well. He has one of the lowest ERAs in the league. It's sub 250 to end the season, I believe. If I recall correctly, he and Holcomb were battling it out for the lowest ERA in the league down here in the last few weeks. And if Wynn doesn't do so well, I mean, just thinking about it, Randy Wynn could go 5, 6 innings, and then they could throw Jake Welch out there. I mean, their options are like unlimited for their pitching staff. Now, the only thing you were saying how the Mammoths will be tired and things like that, but on the flip side of things, the Beavers have been off for so long, and now the Mammoths have the ball rolling. It could go the other way around where the Mammoths are hot and the Beavers are cold. So it's baseball, so it could turn out any way.
Yeah, I think it's easy to say they've played. It'll be their third consecutive game, but you get into a rhythm offensively, and this is a Birmingham Bloomfield team that offensively they've been sitting. They haven't been able to play in games leading up to this, so they're taking batting practice. They're getting ready for the game, but they're not playing in live game situations. So there could be some advantage for Westside, especially considering how well they hit the ball today. They finished with 15 hits offensively, and you look at a team that finished with a 208 team batting average during the regular season. Got a 4-hit game from Fiesel, a 3-hit game from Abbott, a 3-hit 2-walk game from Ethan Whisker. So, the 3, 4, 5 spots in their order got it done offensively today, and they're certainly ready to go here for what's going to be an exciting afternoon tomorrow at Jimmy John's Field. Should be a good one. We'll be here at 1:35 for the first pitch at Jimmy John's Field for the championship game of the USPBL. Join me and Rich Borland for the call at 1:35. We'll be on the air just a little bit before for the pregame coverage between the 1-seeded Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers and the 4th seed Westside Woolly Mammoths. Final score here tonight. The 4-seed Westside Woolly Mammoths 6, the 2-seed Eastside Diamond